Uh, Hello there, everybody. I'm Gandalf the Grey, and today I will be reciting the Legion's class poem for you all. So I hope you are all seated and settled there. Yes, looking at you, Samwise Ganji. Uh, what's that, Perry? I know for a fact that the birds did not eat your homework, for they have no interest in eating paper or eating ink from your pen. All right, I hope everybody is seated there. Legion's class is in session. Take your seat, as five great travellers come to meet. And so, with your pens and textbooks poised, say hello to your hosts, Jesse, Shawn, and Ozstradamus Toyz. But in the world of Mythoss, there's heaps to explore, and so, joining them on their quest, there is also Brick Something and Eldor. Yes, come all ye factions from distant regions, as we discover the world of mythic legions. As once there was an age so far distant that only its stories remain. They tell of great peace and great battles, and legends where both good and evil make their domain. At the Four Horsemen, so join us as we learn of dwarves, centaurs, orcs, vampires, skeletons, and elves, and yes, goblins, hobbits, and men. There is so much to know, so sit a while until the class bell tolls. At the Four Horsemen, the journey awaits one and all, where you can create characters or creatures both great and small, and summon your creations, be it minor, or grand, just like magic, from a spellcaster's hand. But be warned, and do not let a class be missed, lest you fall victim to the powers of the Necronominus. There. How did I do, Eldor? Oh, yes, you did jolly good there, sir. All right, he's sitting down there now.
Well, good evening, everybody. Great to see you, Eldor. So
Oh,
glad
good
that you
evening.
could bring Gandalf to Legion's class
Yes,
with us.
I freed Minton Card Gandalf out of his package there. Just have a new student in the class, if you
I
will.
see. Yes, Minton Card
Fantastic.
Gandalf is no more.
Freedom.
Free all the plastic.
Yes,
Good
he's a bit
evening,
weary after all
everybody.
that
Good
battling
evening,
there, so he's
everybody.
sitting down. Good evening. Yes.
Brick, Jesse, how are you guys doing?
Doing just
Uh,
dandy.
Yep. Doing good. It's been a nice day over here, so
That's
enjoying it.
good. It's been
Yes, pretty
raining
sunny out here
all
too.
day.
Little chilly though now that the winter is setting in and what have you.
That's right. It's coming winter over your side now, where ours is over and
Winter is
going into
coming, you might
spring.
say.
Oh, there we go. Just lost 4 subscribers. Great.
Strangely, there's a lot of dads in here.
Right?
Oh, yes.
So, Brick, it's been a while since we've had you. I know I've seen Jesse just this past week in Eldor. It's been a minute since I've shared some time with you on screen, so it's good to see you guys both. Shall we go run through, say hello to everybody in the chat, and then we'll get into some pickups? And I know,
Yeah,
Brick,
Yes.
you got
take a
some
roll.
stuff
Let's
to go
take a
share.
roll.
All right, let me go run through quick here. Eldor's two places at once on screen and in the chat, and I love seeing it. We've got
Of
John
course.
from Figuratively Speaking on with us, Nolan as well. Great to see you. The wonderful co host of Shooting the Shelf, Curtis Ackerman. How are you doing, sir? Glad you could be here. Thanos Copter in the house. And let me see, scroll down. Got a lot of in talking here. We've got Alberto Morales with us this evening. Good to have you. Thank you for being here. Lawrence from A Punk with Toys joining us this evening, as well as Cobweb in the house. Great to see you. And Trevor, 1-6 Shooters in the house, Legion's Lounge. Definitely make sure you check them out and subscribe if you're already not. Of course, I'm pretty sure just about everybody in here is. If you're not, though, better go make it happen. Let's keep scrolling through. Duchess of Darkness has joined us.
Oh,
Sean
Melanie.
Clifford is here
Good to
as
see
well. Ray Black in the house. My good man Corey. No, it was not Oz to start off Legion's class. And Rolando Flores also in the house joining us this evening. Wow, the class keeps getting bigger and bigger. See, this is one of the reasons I love doing the show. It just keeps growing.
Yes.
Ryu is here as well. Good to have you. And Adam, highly articulated here. Just watched
Adam,
a
sir.
wonderful video of some pop and swap earlier today, as well as Brick and Adam will now be doing quite a bit more work with the AWOC talk and filling us in very similarly to how Legion's class is filling you in on Legions if you're new. AWOC talk is the place to be. Hylian Dread also with us this evening. All right, and that should just about catch us up.
Man, that's
Excellent.
a full class.
Right? Whew.
That
It's getting
triggered me,
tougher
man.
and
That's a
tougher
lot
to
of
go
names.
through there, right?
Standing room only.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to get a bigger venue.
And increased funding.
Well, you know, we can only hope.
It's okay. There's 4 teachers. We're good.
Right. 4 teachers tonight. Normally we have 5, so I think
Yeah.
our ratio, teacher to student wise, we do pretty good. Unfortunately, we are down 1 man. So Shawn had some good family business to attend to this evening. He is spending a wonderful evening at home, and hope he is enjoying it. We miss you, Shawn, but you're having an awesome time. So, all right. So I mean, I've showed off some of my stuff already quite a bit this week. I'll show it off a little bit later, but why don't we go through? Does anybody have any weekly pickups?
I don't have anything in range.
We got to get you a grappling hook.
Yeah, I got a. Oh no, I have one. No, I'm not standing up to get that. I'm gonna knock everything over. I got a couple of the tactics. I got the male elf and the male orc in this week.
Nice, excellent.
Good day.
And what else? I got the D20 Black Wolf from
I saw you messing with that.
E Collectibles. I traded out the armor for the Grey Wolf and just 2 deluxe builders.
Yep, I was catching that a little bit last night on Off Worlds right before jumping onto some toy therapy.
That was only yesterday.
Yeah, right? I'm telling you, man. Well, you and I, we've been hitting it hard this week because you and I both visited with Dom on Toy Domination to play his game, and we won again. No deaths. We rule. It's all you though. Like Thistlethorn's in there just ravaging.
Thistlethorn's a
everybody.
beast, man.
Yeah, I got 1 kill by the time the game was over, so that's all right. For swordsman, I just really suck at swords play because I keep missing.
It all comes down to the dice. It's just the dice.
Yeah.
I have a question for Jesse. The black, you're saying you had the Grey Wolf, and then you traded armor for Black Wolf, or I
got the gray great
one?
bone, the bone wolf that came out last year. I took all the gear off of it and put it onto the Black Wolf, and I put because I got the basic Black Wolf because I wanted to give the bone one to the custom of Kurzog or Urzok that I made.
Cool. So you have 2 wolves in your family then?
I do, and they are both the Grey Wolf is for Queen Urxa, and the Black Wolf with the bone armor is for Urzok.
Those are beautiful. I love them.
Yeah, I want to get one of the boars eventually for the dwarves.
Yes,
those are fantastic.
Waiting for a basic version to come out, and then get the House Seal toy. The Toy Forge has like an armor kit for that.
God, these things are gorgeous.
What's it? Akuna Matata, you might say.
that's what I would name mine. I'd either name mine, Akuna Matata or Bacon. So, just a quick shout out to my buddy's Customs. I feel privileged that he is taking time away from the new Legend of Zelda game to join us in class. But hey, pay attention to class, young man, or you'll get detention. Ooh, no, I gotta hang out with cool people talking about toys.
Well, you're for anything like my actual students in my day-to-day work, you would still be in class with the Switch in front
With
of
the
you.
Switch, yeah. That's the modern day of things, right?
You'd find a way.
I mentioned that we used to get in trouble for bringing our cell phone to school, kind of thing. And like that's like a standard thing now for emergencies. Mind you, like my senior year, there was only like one kid in school who even had a cell phone because
Okay,
they
I was
just
gonna
weren't
say.
around yet. The big thing more was pagers, and then completely you just watched young eyes glaze over. What's a pager?
Right. Sorry, when you
Yes.
said you used to get in trouble for phones in class, I was like, wait, am I that old? But
No,
okay,
no,
got
no.
it.
As
Well,
a matter of
back
fact,
in my day, all we had was the stone and chisel.
right?
Make a heck of a racket during the class.
Well, yeah, the analog stylus and tablet. Got you. Jeremy J has now joined us, as well as Joe Gonzalez. Thank you
What's up,
guys
Joe?
for being here. Jeremy, there will be no AWOC figures ripped apart on this stream.
Dude, you can't say that. You can't guarantee that. I love to do this, especially when
Oh,
Jeremy's here.
no.
Just like
Oh,
to,
no.
just to torture him.
Should not have made
Wow.
promises I couldn't keep.
Yeah.
Yes, my great eye of the universe is needing a bit of juice there.
Anyway, sorry. Anything else?
Yeah, sure.
I interrupted you. Anything else, Jesse, that you got?
I got a bunch of new heads from my buddy Mark Rivera, Mark Star Media. He sent me a bunch of heads that he's going to be releasing soon. I think they're going to be at Legion Shop. They are so cool.
Ooh, fun.
Couple of goblins, a couple new critters. I'll show off one that I do have this one in hand because I was afraid it would break.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a jackalope.
It is a jackalope, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's got this like grumpy little grin on his face.
That needs to be Thistlethorn Steed. I know that's a little like small for him, really.
He'll actually be bigger than Thistlethorn, but I think that's going on a dwarf body, but I got to get more dwarves, so.
Well, I mean, if you
Money to checking all the little holes in the ground there, Jesse, sir.
That would be delightful.
So I'll go ahead and really just quickly show off, because again, I've been showing them off all week. I've got several of the beautiful homage figures that were, handed over. Yes, Jesse, I know you're happy. The only other Fuzzmonk in the group there.
He is not a Fuzzmonk.
No, Swale Goblin. Sorry, I just called him that because I like that name for it. But that's your personal thing, and it's a total badass thing, as I've now seen it in complete demonstration on Dom's game, like just ripping everybody apart, and it's the most adorable, sweet thing ever, and yet amazing.
It's like if a Care Bear had the personality on reserve of the Tasmanian Devil.
Yes. It was great. And of course got Xenothon now too. And I'm going to really enjoy displaying him probably next to, of course, that sweet new Eternia Stratos, because they both look really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I had the mossy boy there on my pile of loot, so I have to get him hopefully next month at some stage.
Ooh, Bryophytus. He's so cool. It's weird to touch him, but he's cool.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Flock always has that texture, but it's so good though.
He's kind of spongy.
It's weird to touch him. Sorry.
Story of my life.
On my end, so I did share with the teachers. First off, it's good to be back. I missed the last class, and you all got to play games and do all sorts of fun things with Toy Domination, with Dom at Toy Domination. It was
you
amazing
just missed
to
recess,
watch.
so I mean,
but still, that's like the best one. But unfortunately, I had to miss that. But as far as pickups, we'll talk a little bit later about kind of a field trip that I took. But one of the more recent things that came in were these. Work with
Hang on,
Oh,
hit the
what?
wrong button. I'm a professional, remember.
Headhunter Customs, like to make these pegs, and you're like, okay, what are those? What are those? And they're real rough, they're real simple, but they are to fit. If you ever had any Super
nice.
7 Ultimates,
Yes.
if you've ever gotten a Super
Adapter
7
pieces
Ultimates,
there. Yes.
you definitely have Super 7 Ultimates extra heads, because they come with way too many heads and way too many. Not way too many. So if you take off,
That's
the
all right. I
head-
accidentally banned someone from our stream last night.
Oh my God. Glad I haven't done that yet. This is how you can tell I'm so tired.
This is the new figure obscura, the headless barbarian, and you take a Conan the barbarian, and you now have a Conan figure on a
The
Legion's
headless
body.
Conan. I mean,
Come on, get on there, buddy. And yes, this man was at one time my governor, but yes, this guy.
get to the chopper.
I'm now in
So-
Mythoss.
It's just
It's
been
not the tumor.
it's fun and they fit great. They're available on Headhunter Customs. I can throw that eventually in the chat maybe. So yeah, if you just kind of want to have fun, using these things, but extra fun is that as somebody asked earlier, are we going to see any AWOC today? This is for Adam, highly articulated.
Yep.
Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And yes, I'm shilling like a villain. I love this line. I'm having such a blast with this line. And Jeremy, this is for you. I'm going to void my warranty. No, that doesn't void your warranty. This does. And I love to kind of give him a headache. But they do fit. They'll require some tack to make them truly fit. But we're also working with Headhunter to do a peg specifically for those figures. But in the meantime, you got some Lion-O heads.
Those are great.
Look at that.
And I don't have them on me, but of course, these
Lion-O
fit pretty well with the Four Horsemen sculpted Masters of the Universe classics. So I've got some photos up there with like Mantenna's head on one of these bodies, and it's fun. It's just
great.
It's just fun, which is what Toyz should be.
Out. Yeah.
And so one of the best features of these Mythic Legions figures is just the encouraging of the customizing and the pop and swap, and the sort of little cottage toy accessory industry that sort of popped around Mythic Legions allows us to do these things, and I'm having a blast with them. So that was kind of a pickup. And then I mentioned I was on a field trip, and I was able to check out the Mythic Meetup out here in California, which was huge. Yeah, woo! So that was out in Sacramento, which is like an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on traffic from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a tiny taste of what you all get to enjoy when you go to those conventions and you see the Four Horsemen table, and you see those figures at convention prices, and you get to meet people and hang out with other people who love mythics, because there's I'm learning that there are some folks out here in the Bay Area that are into it, but it's kind of it's hard to sort of connect with folks. We don't have a ton of conventions, it's pricey to host a convention out here, so they're few and far between.
Yes, sir. They're running a bit of a toy convention just north of me. There's a fellow that's just started getting Mythic Legions into our parts of Eternia there. I've seen a few photos of those popping up.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, same thing. Like I got a chance to talk with folks, but then it was also like, you're moving around, seeing folks. So, but I had a blast there, picked up some things that, like, again, the idea that you're like, oh, there's stuff on the table for like $40. I'm like, oh, cool. Never thought I'd have access to this figure. And I don't know if it was serious or not, but it might have been. Walter posted a pic in the Cabal for the next day. I was only there the one day on Saturday, and there was an Otho on the pile. I don't know if that was serious or what it was. He was just like, "Oh, see anything?" I think it was like real cryptic, like, "See anyone you recognize?" I don't know, but I wasn't there. So, but people came in costume. It was cool. It was just really cool. And
Do you want me to go ahead and play that video real quick?
Sure. Yeah, actually, thanks, Oz.
Yeah, let's go
Take
ahead
a
and
look
bring
at
that up.
Hi, Brad. Baby.
This one is a little bit modified. The head actually looks kind of big. So I pulled the outside and that'll look a little bit just the tint of the base to make it look smaller. And then I plugged in the holes on the side. I might come back. I need to buy some custom pieces because these are forms also. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah,
I was
apologize
getting-
if I. Good.
I was getting really nervous. I'm like, how do you enter this space? I didn't see any gap, and then that right at the end, I saw the entrance. I was like,
You drop in from the sky.
I was like, I'm gonna knock all those tables over.
That's how we do California. We just drop in from the sky. Yeah, it was a nice little snug space. It was awesome because it was in this. So it's at Toy Fusion, which is a large toy store out there in Sacramento, and they have like an exhibition space in this strip mall. And you walk up, and the big sign says "drug and DNA testing." I was like, yeah, okay. Walk in, and that was the space. You had local folks selling stuff. Got a good deal on a.
Did you get your haggle on there, sir?
Kind of. It depends. Folks had some good deals. Like I was able to find a 4 Horsemen again, like older figure from Masters of the Universe. Procrustes from your neck of the woods, Eldor. I don't know if you're your friend.
I used to have that fellow. He was mint and packaged, but I said I had to settle with the rest of my classics many years ago.
He was not mint and packaged.
I'm kicking myself now, that's for sure.
But the dude was asking for $60, and I was like, yeah, like
that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, it was it was really cool, and as you saw, there were a bunch of folks there, including one David Williams, which I had to pick up some amazing art that you've definitely have seen before on the Cabal. Right, I got the 4 Horsemen themselves.
That's great. David is such an awesome guy.
Right?
Awesome guy, super talented, super, just really great to talk to. And then of course I got a troll for.
Oh yeah.
Gotta have that troll.
You'll have to go get those framed there, sir.
And I do. I have the frames. I just, stupid job. And so
stupid adulting. I prefer
Totally.
adulting.
Wait, are you saying framing is a stupid job?
no, framing is great.
Well,
I'm saying my job gets in the way of doing fun
Oh,
stuff.
Okay.
yeah, cool stuff like framing.
Yep.
God, being an educator, who wants to do that?
He says in Legion's class, and got some custom heads that I'll just sort of show super quick.
Nice.
Got painted by David. Very
Nice.
cool. Sorry, I know you just went full screen. And then was able to talk to folks, talk to David, talk to Nate Barch, who has
Also another amazing human being.
yes,
Right?
and an amazing artist, and got to talk to him about that life, and just talk to people.
I have
Yeah,
that
she talked-
Sorceress print.
We talked Lego.
yeah.
We talked just nerdy stuff, which is great. And I don't have the actual box, but it was nice to get a print. Yeah, you're up there in the left eye. Is that right? That's your room?
Yes, that's roughly where I sit, or where my bedchambers are. Well, usually when the Falcon drops in my mail on my nose sometimes.
So
As long as it's just
I had
the
a
mail.
blast.
I didn't make the joke this time, but every time we get a couple of extra heads. Somebody.
Yeah.
I got a whole
Yeah.
rack ahead right here.
I got drawers full of them all around me.
Well, two heads are better than one, I suppose.
Ah, love it.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Ooh. Yes, sir.
I
And
love
yeah,
that
there's
ogre head with the 3 eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super fun. And I can quickly, I won't spend too much time, but if you want, I can show some quick pics.
Of course,
I
absolutely.
have like 8 or so.
Did
It's
you
like
want
show
me
and
to
tell.
play the other video real
Maybe
first?
that's okay. I think that's okay.
Right.
We saw what we needed to see. Let's just
Bring those
look at some
slides up
stills.
here.
Okie dokie. Share is the button I'm trying to click.
There it is.
Did that work? Okay, cool. So there was the flyer, the Mythic Meetup. So if you're not familiar, this was the first Mythic Legions meetup out here on the West Coast, and featuring guests Nate Barch, Walter Hagen of the Cabal, creator of the Mythic Legions Cabal. Super fun and cool to talk to. His fam was there. They're not too far from me, so hopefully we can see each other a little more often. I can drive out to out to his neck of the woods. Oops, but so that's it. It's real like chill.
Yes.
That's the thing, man.
Late night.
Small and intimate and fun. So I've seen pictures of Legions Con, and that looks super fun too. But honestly, given my it's not. Oops, did it stop sharing?
Oh no, I brought it down a little bit.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, great. No, you direct. Yeah, it's nice to kind of dip my toes in and not all of a sudden walk into a room with hundreds of people. It was more like, it was cool. I got to meet people, talk with people, and I had a great time. Cool stuff everywhere, some cosmic stuff. I believe this was Iz's table. It was great to see him too. After I love his channel, like actually, the Adam Power channel was like one of the ways that I really sort of started to learn a lot about Legions and just kind of like.
Yes, I believe I saw a few photos on the online there of them working on this piece here.
This thing is gorgeous.
And it recently debuted in the TV show Succession.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, in the show they're making the people and the characters in the show are producing a sci-fi movie, and they have a bunch of Four Horsemen figures and the full bust of that character, of Thygar's character, on the table as if it was something in the movie.
Really cool to see this there, and I can't wait for these figures to drop. Let's see.
The water.
Yeah. All right. Yay, me and Nate. There's in the back. Oops. And then some local folks brought their customs. So this guy, look at that. I know for all
that's great.
Ninja Turtle fans.
So good.
And I saw these two together, and I totally thought that this was also a TMNT, but it's actually meant to be Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
but because of the green and the mask, I jumped to Casey Jones, which kind of worked in my brain too. Yeah, and these awesome customs. Let's see. Oops, and I thought I had the pick with his name, but sorry, I'm forgetting his name off. Yeah, I'll get back to it. I'll find it. Oh, there it is. Jason Horsfall. That's my other thing. Like, it was a smaller group, and like getting to know people was a little bit easier than if I can walk into Legion's Con, it was like hundreds of people. I've heard, I think it was Trevor saying, man, could we get name tags? Like, that would totally help my brain. Especially since like we all have like, funky pirate code names on YouTube. Yeah. And so
fortunately for me, my funky pirate code name is the same as my name. So
yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm Brick Solo on the Cabal, but I go by Brick something, and my real name, it's just like one of those weird things. Mike, this stuff was just amazing to look at, and I'm so sad that I didn't take good pictures of Nikki's stuff and Eric's stuff that was there, Eric LeBron stuff, and Nikki Nicole's stuff. I was just, it was it was a small space, but I definitely was overwhelmed. It's just kind of like, oh my god, I'm here, and there's
yes, sir. Quite a large army assembled there. Indeed.
Stuff.
I love that that one kind of in the center, that kind of bulked up goblin. That looks great.
Yep. And then even this little skinny
So
dude, they're so cool. We got a little
yes.
golden axe up there.
Yes.
Just a little bit of LJN, Advanced Dungeon, AD&D, just some really cool stuff.
What about the Lost Vikings? Does anybody remember that game?
Lost Vikings?
No.
Yeah, it was like on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. It was like this group of 3 Vikings. Regular little platformer and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. I
vaguely remember that.
Yes, I had the idea pop into my head to maybe do a few Asterix customs there, perhaps.
Ooh, Asterix.
The fellow there,
that would be great. Asterix and Obelix.
The big red ears sticking up from the helmet there reminded me of that.
Mike Kunit was there. That was the stuff that you just saw. I really just had fun staring at those. I'll admit, like sometimes, I love meeting people. Then there's that part of me that kicks in and is like, okay, I'm gonna get a little shy now. So I just I talked to those I could, and then at a certain point was like, okay, I'm done now. But it's awesome.
Remembers.
It's awesome, So anyway, that was great. That was fun. I showed you those figures, and I kind of mentioned earlier, but we don't need to go through the rest. I'll just say that I've got a bunch of unboxed Mythic Legions that I need to get through. That's all. I'll say that. And they're sitting next to me, and I wanted to be public about it because I really need to get moving on my channel and just like show some of these figures because I'm not an inbox collector.
Do it now.
No, I'm not gonna do it now. But
come on.
Anyways, it's been
that was just meant to be motivation. That's just motivation.
Yeah. Yes. Oh wait.
Get to the unboxing.
Okay, cool.
He was too dangerous to be kept alive. Do it.
So thank you for hearing that. Again, it is a huge deal that we have a West Coast thing going. I hope it continues.
Yes.
Just to be able to hang out with other people. Like I would love to get out to PowerCon and LegionsCon. PowerCon used to be here and now it's not. But between work and getting away, got 2 kids, family, and just the money to get out there and knowing that I'm also going to probably spend money there. It gets a little tough. So I was happy to be able to drive a couple hours, see people hang out, and do the Legions thing. So right on to everybody who organized it. It was great to meet you all and sort of just super grateful that it's happening. And I hope we keep going.
So Joe, so you have 1.5 giant?
Yeah, 1.5 giants, right? 3 half giants, 1.5. Yeah.
Brick, that sounds awesome. I hope you do get to make it to Legions Con someday.
Yeah. I will.
Or PowerCon, just so I want to get to meet you, or if I can get out to something on the West Coast, that would be great. But even if you don't buy any figures, which is ridiculous, the money's worth it. I know I'm only 3 hours away, but the way that community is over that whole weekend is just so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what
I'm glad you got a little taste of it there. Sorry.
It's good taste. Good taste.
I'm definitely looking forward to, meeting up with a bunch of people. Definitely doing Legions Con. That's happening this year. Done.
Nice.
PowerCon I'm still working on. And time is running out. But
3 months.
I want to get to PowerCon.
I think I'll have to work on the star freight affairs there to get from Eternia to Earth, as it were.
What
so I have to admire
send
from
a
afar,
shuttle.
as it were.
And what do you have there in your hand there, Eldor, for us?
Oh yes, pickups. Yes, well, this is one of my fairly recent pickups there, about half a month ago, you might say. Yes, so I saw a fellow that I usually buy from. I think he's selling bits of his collection off here in the marketplace. So he had her at $250 Tony, but he'd taken the pricings down because I don't think he was selling them as quickly as he hoped. So I ended up getting her for 150 there, attorney, which wasn't too bad there, and I thought might be good to have a bit of a baddie in the collection, you might say. So yes,
She's
I got
fantastic.
a Lithia there. She's a bit of a handful indeed. A bit of all the hands and arms and what have you. But a lovely detail all throughout, especially in her headpiece there, with the big scary skeleton weighing up your fate. As indeed she has her scales there, which I believe doubles as a bit of a weapon there. I think it splits halfway in the middle. She has a bit of a flail type weapon going on, but otherwise she has her two big swords there that I have in the lower back arms and so on. So yes, a nice soft goods with her as well in the skirt, a bit of wire going on there, and a bit of wire in her shawl, which I just have looped over her arms. I wasn't sure how they got attached there, you see. So I just sort of draped them over the arms there, and using the wire there, you can bend it into shape and do all sorts of creative things there with photography and what have you. So yes, there's a Lithia there. Oh.
Yeah, and her weapon is called the Soul Spiller. It's one of the 4 weapons the key weapons for the Dark 4 gods that they used to bring them back.
Indeed. Oh.
Such a cool weapon.
But yes, incredible detail throughout, even in her belt piece, and yes, well, lots you can do there. I had a bit of trouble plugging in her back arms, but with a bit of elbow grease there, I managed to get that all plugged into the back. But yes,
Her elbows had grease in them.
Oh no, my elbow grease there.
Use
a bit of force to push her arms into the back there. See, her arms plug in, as we all know, with the pop and swap feature there with Mythic Legions. How you have the series of pegs at the back, at the top 2, of course, for your placing in pauldrons or wings, and then the middle slot there for adding an attachment such as this, or adding wings if your figure has pauldrons, using the usual spots where you would place the wings and so forth.
Excellent.
So yes,
very cool.
Well,
she's great.
Good work there.
Hands down, Alithia is one of the best figures they have put out.
Hands down, indeed.
All stitched
All right, guys. So we've gone through some pickups. Did we want to talk about some news? I mean, I know most everybody has talked about All-Star 6, the voting and everything like that. You know, even I just
put my votes in there.
Nice. That's great. I'm glad everybody has been voting and all like that. And, you know, I'm really excited to see where things end up. Adam convinced me to go tail over bone. So I did go a little bit more with the furry creatures than just the skeletons, because there are a lot of skeletons coming out. We just had a whole skeleton wave, and I'm sure we're gonna have, like, you know, more on the way. So I felt, you know what, yeah, I can back away from that. So definitely decided to vote differently than I would have, because I was all about the skeletons at first. But I bided my time and I waited and I looked at input, and I thought, we need more creatures and anthropomorphic critters and such within Mythic Legions. We've got a lot of skeletons already when I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to change my voting on this one. I'm not going to go the way I was originally planning. So I'm glad I waited.
I think I love the animals. The Boreer is a great one. I did not vote for him, but if he comes back, that's an awesome figure, and definitely worth it. But I have one, so I threw my votes all on stuff I didn't have. But
good call.
Yeah.
For me, I also, you know, I lean in on the animals, but I will say, so since our Legions class is sort of pitched to folks who are kind of newer or trying to understand this whole toy line, real quick, the All-Stars thing, because I don't believe we spoke about it last time.
We have not.
So
Okay. Yeah, let's go over that.
Yeah, actually, would somebody else want to break it down?
Sure, I can do that. So All Stars was a program they started after the first couple waves, where and each time they've done it, it's been a little bit different. This is the 6th one that just finished up voting. And All Stars 1 reissued the 6 most popular figures from Wave 1. All Stars 2 brought back 10 popular figures and a new version of Egalis. And the first Mythic Legions with a fan's likeness. I believe that was the Deltagar, I think. The green gladiator. All Stars 3 was 7 figures, with four of them were selected by the fans, re-release, and 2 new figures and a stone troll, including 2 of the and the PowerCon debuts have not always been in All Stars, I don't think. Because All Stars 1, oh, you've got them pulled up over there. Cool.
Yeah, I figured, I'm a visual learner. So for the visual learners in the class.
Yeah, so Dorina and Lord Dragul were your She-Ra and Hordak PowerCon debuts that year, and the other ones were re-releases, including the first of the re-release stone, the re-release trolls. I think was the stone troll was the first re-release troll. See, that was 4. That's 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Also 3.
Yeah. So then All Stars 4, which are still pretty regularly available at shows and stuff, has 2 more PowerCon debut figures, Bryophytus and Mephitor, and a couple more reissues from earlier waves, including the Stone Troll 2, Forest Troll 2, which comes with both that bearded head and the classic Stone Troll head.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes.
And then All Stars 5 Plus, which was a vote last year. There was a couple different waves. It was a different way they did it. We got Azahar, the Yellow Demon. Where is it? Romulus the Gladiator and Ilgar the Skeleton were all re-release figures. Xenothon and Okietos, which I showed earlier, those were the PowerCon debuts last year. And all of the rest of them were brand new characters to the line and the first heads pack. So all of these figures, the way they've been different, where the All-Stars were sometimes just picked by the studio, sometimes a fan got to vote. They'll throw in some other things to, like the PowerCon debuts have been in there, or a re-release of the Troll with the extra heads. There was also the All-Stars Trolls wave, which did the Ice Troll.
Oh, right.
And the, I keep forgetting that was called the All-Stars, the Ice Troll, and the re-release of, I'm drinking on his name, Brontus, with alternate heads with the different paint apps for those 2 bodies. So,
did you take that down, Brick? Or
I did, just because visuals.
Yeah. You actually.
I've got the.
He was trolling us, you might say.
No trolls on my show. Not that kind.
He said it was okay for me to hold him like this, so not trying to be totally weird. And then let's see. So these were part of that wave that I did get in on. And
God, they're massive.
Per our conversation earlier about things I need to unbox, folks may or may not know that that the heads had a little bit of an issue, and so I've had these, and I just haven't switched them out because I'm a lazy boy. So there's that, and then before we switch out, I was saying I've got to unbox some things. I got to unbox some things.
Is that all in?
Yeah, and it's been here, and I've just...
It's all in the box.
It's criminal. criminal.
It's called, what do they call that? Pleasure delayer, right?
Yeah, I am exercising self-control and discipline.
There you go. There you go.
Don't
The
lie to
world
us
is
about that.
exercising
We
on
know
me.
AWOC came in and ruined all the other openings of things.
Yeah. So
this year with All-Stars 6, they have not called it All-Stars 6 Plus, but they did let us know at the end of the Necronominus G-Con in November that the 2023 was going to be the year of Necronominus, and that new Necronominus things would release throughout this year. So I think it's pretty safe to say that All-Star 6 will include new things in the war against Necronominus. I'm sure we'll get some new heroes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some version 2s, or at least a version 2 of some skeletal Necronominus character. Again, I'm not basing this on any inside information, just speculation. But yeah, so we're going to get 3 re-releases from the All-Stars this year. So 3 re-releases of regular characters, and then they included a vote this year called the Alumni Vote down there at the bottom, which were 4 figures who were in previous All-Stars. So Asterion, Carpathius, the vampire, Sir Ignatius, and Pixis, named after Pixel Dan, are all were up for the vote. So we'll find out on, I believe they're doing a live event June 2nd to announce the winners.
Yes, that bald-headed fellow was one of my votes. I remember him.
Yes, he's a really cool one. I ended up going with the bull, Asterion.
Oh, bullheaded.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
I thought you were referring to Carpathius. Yeah. Every time I hear Carpathius, sorry, I think Ghostbusters too. But carry on.
I ended up voting for Ignatius myself, just because I hear. Sorry, Trevor, if you're watching. I don't know if he took the pictures for that one, but the colors on him don't translate in photos as they do in person, because it's not just white armor; it's like a pearlescent. So I ended up voting for him because there was talk that of any of those 4 characters, Asterion is the one most likely to earn a version 2 release down the road. So as much as I want him for my Xylonis flock, I'm going to hold out hope that we get a version 2 down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Trevor did not take those pictures. I know he didn't do all of the early ones, so...
And to be that guy again, just for the folks who are newer, when we're talking version 2, we're literally talking version 2 of that same character, changed in some way, new pieces sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if you can scroll to it real quick. You might not be able to find either if you go to the special releases at the bottom of the list.
The bottom of the normal list?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sure. I have it because...
Or if you have, I don't know if you have a way to do Vorgus or Sir Gideon.
Here, let me go to this one. All right. So, you wanted to see who?
Oh yeah, let's see. Let's see if Vorgus has both of his or no, go. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see what I'm pointing at. Gorgo Aetherblade up top left. There we go.
So you got Jesse, version 1, a version 2, right?
Yeah. So the one on the left is version 1. So this is the one that came out in the first wave. He's got that cool emblem on his shield, the Arethyr faction, red and black. But all his armor is the standard knight armor that they had. And the most unique thing about him is the logo on the shield and the Aetherblade sword itself.
And how long ago was this first figure released? This is like early.
Yeah, he was in the first Kickstarter or the first wave. And those came out in like 2000. I think they shipped. It was like 7 years ago. I saw a post from the Horseman a couple weeks ago saying that the first figures came in and they started shipping out 7 years ago, so 2016.
Yeah, so that's like a long time ago, and the figure's older, and not everyone was able to get him. So the idea of a 2.0, as you're saying, right?
So according to Joe, version 1 didn't come with the sword.
Okay.
He just had one of the regular long-handed swords. So that looked like a Trevor picture. He came with a sword and that big battle axe in that second picture. Yeah,
there you go, holding him.
So yeah, he's again all standard stuff. He's got a unique paint scheme, but it's all stuff that a lot of the figures had. Or so if you switch over to the version 2 that's just coming out now in the War of the Aetherblade Tactics 2-pack.
Gorgeous.
See if you can zoom in on that.
I'll do this, but I need to see that last shot because I love it too much.
So he's got that fully 3D rendered shield that can pop out of the boss there in the middle.
Oh, yes, very nice.
The armor, all the design is very similar, but man, I'm doing the thing with the mouse. You guys can't see it. If you look down the middle of his chest where those lines are coming up,
look at that.
It almost looks
gorgeous.
Like it's almost like the race car like flames.
Yep. I need to be a fly on the wall in these factories because I just want to see them do that over and over and over again on these figures and just see the assembly line and
the eye slits, like the pauldrons are a little more enhanced. It's almost like he went into his like second form or his final form or something. And this one does come with the Aetherblade, and I believe Joe was just saying that it was a weapons pack that came with the sword, so it wasn't in.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't packed in with the original figure. Yeah,
but it does come with it now. Yeah.
Oh, look at that thing, man! Look at all the paint apps and the
Oh man!
So it's got like the same faceplate that's on Arethyr himself, like across his face. Right there on the shield.
Yes, I do recall the axe there, the bronze dwarf Legion builder I had who came with a similar one, but you can take apart the other side of the axe to make the one we see here.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's the difference between a version 1 and a version 2. Some people will call it 2.0.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just like I cannot not see this photo because that's so damn good.
Gorgeous. I love the like fire looking lightning in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the music. Sorry.
Yeah. Just imagining some of that deep, weird music from the Norsemen.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Northmen. Yeah. There's just like voices going off in the background and
Can you imagine like having that figure? So I'll go ahead and stop sharing that. Let's go ahead and stop sharing that. Can you imagine having that figure and just like for whatever stupid reason not unboxing it?
No.
Foolish.
I'm still waiting for mine to ship from Canada.
I tell you. This is actually came in not too long, a week and a half ago.
So that's the difference between version 1 and a version 2. If you hear, sometimes people will call it a 2.0, which is a little confusing in my opinion because 2.0 is the slender build. That's like the elves, the goblins, most of them on our 2.0. So for those of you who are new, some of these words and terms can be, sometimes the word deluxe gets used interchangeably when it does mean different things when it's coming from official stuff from the studio. So I know they are trying to streamline that the way they refer to the packages, like the Deluxe Legion Builder Wave that just came out. They were Deluxe Legion Builders. They weren't deluxe figures. So they had a little bit more going on with the paint on them. Rather than that versus like the Deluxe Barbarian set, which is the big one that comes with all the different accessories, or the builder packs that just came in the tactics, like the 2 elves, the 2 orcs. Those are deluxe sets. So you've got a couple different versions. But yeah, version 2 is, I believe, what the studio is trying to reference when they say an upgraded version of an existing character. So Sir Gideon's another one in the Necrodominus wave. He was the first kind of standard white knight with the gold helmet and everything. He's getting a really beautiful update on his. Attila in that 2-pack got a version 2. So that's the difference between version 2 and a version 1.
Yep.
So that's what I was saying about Asterion. There might be an updated version of him down the road where he's got different armor. They get different detail because because their whole concept was reusing the parts, they're like, how can we paint these and assemble these and make different characters with the limited number of parts? Now with all the digital sculpting that Eric is doing and all the different things that they have available to them now, so he'll still spend the same amount of time sculpting, but because he can turn on that 3D mirror imaging or symmetry or whatever it's called, he can get the rough stuff in, and then he can turn that off and like give details to where someone has like, you know, whatever the differences he wants to make to them. So he'll spend as much time working on a figure, sculpting it, but he's able to do a lot more to them. That's why we're seeing stuff like we saw on the Figura Obscura Monkey King Sun Wukong that was announced today, which we'll get to that, I'm sure, but just the detail, like so much of that figure is new. And they were working on it. They said they had that in the pipe before Father Christmas and the Headless Horseman. On the blog, but just so much of that parts. But that's because he can spend so much more time working on that and pump that out, that we're able to see stuff like that. So,
indeed.
Well, with voting, so yeah, I mean, this is for the All-Star 6, and just to give a sense of, so the voting happened. No, it's over, right?
It ended yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. So it happened. If you have ever bought from Store Horseman, you got an email from SurveyMonkey, and you were asked to vote, and you selected your 3 fighters from here. I love that this was like a you know, like a select your character.
It's Mortal Kombat.
Although I've never bought from the Store Horseman. I believe I do have an account set up, so that's possibly.
Yeah,
or if you have an account
newsletter, yeah.
Yep, if you have a newsletter, you get to vote, and then you got to choose one of these. And so the wave will have how many, Jesse? Do you know?
I don't know how many in the wave. I know we're getting 3 of the top box.
Okay.
One of the bottom.
The 3 top winners will get made. And 1 of the bottom,
and then potentially some new figures.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be at least several new figures because, like I said, the All Stars 5+ last year, most of that wave was new figures, including 2 tributes or PowerCon debuts. So we'll see in just over 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, when they do the live show, they'll reveal the announcements. And I'll tell you this, like, even though some of the Arethyr ones are more recent, I mean, they came out almost 3 years ago. Or they were coming out in 2001. So they were sold over pre-ordered 3 years ago. There's a lot of new people coming into the line, not just the Cabal, but there's a lot of people getting into Mythic Legions that have not been into the wave. So those figures are like Magnus, who else is in the Arethyr wave? Belphegor, the red demon at the top. Magnus is the gold human knight with the beard, and a couple of Vorthog. They're all running at least like $80 to $100 usually on the secondhand market. They have been fairly available at conventions. The Horsemen's have set up their tables or had their street teams or people vending their stuff for them. Like at Mythic Meetup. I don't know if they had any of them there, but those have been a little more readily available. But they're such good figures, and like Magnus comes with the knight helmet, so you can swap just his basic head without having to do any customizing, and you get a different figure. Vorthog comes with 2 different helmets, or the head and a helmeted head. I think he's got like different hands and feet. So like all these figures have a lot of great potential, even if you already have one to get another and add if you customize or not. Or like King Bromden, I have one, but if that one wins again, he's got like his knight helmet. You can easily build up a couple like heavy armored knight dwarves, like as his like personal guard or something. So there's not a bad figure.
It's good to see the more dwarf head sculptor. Mostly, if you buy the Legion builders, they're mostly helmeted with the beard attachment inside the helmet there.
I'm sitting here trying to remember how I voted. I know for a fact that I voted for 4 rad figures. I just don't remember which 4 rad figures they were. But I know, anyways, I honestly don't remember.
I mean, it was
neat
really
to see
tough
people
to choose.
And it was neat to see people sort of like campaigning. You know, I was around for 5 and a little bit of the one I was there for the trolls. But you know, seeing people come up with like posters and logos and like it was fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely fun. And then I definitely appreciated seeing things like on Legion's Lounge, really sort of like breaking down like figure by figure and talking a little bit more about them, because like if you weren't around, you don't necessarily like, these are just these pictures, right? And you don't necessarily know what the parts were, because so much again about this line are the parts and the pieces. And so that was helpful for them to sort of break it down and kind of get a sense of like, oh, you know, oh, that this armor piece or this weapon, or, you know, and a little bit about the sort of like what you shared, like who's likely to get a version 2. And so it was fun. And it's also ultimately one, it's great to give folks another opportunity to get some of these figures, but it's also a great opportunity, just, I mean, kind of smart marketing to get us all talking again and about these older figures. And like,
because now some people are going to go hunt these down.
And the thing is, and I know Jeremy has said this on the show, and it's like kind of the studio thing, like they don't like looking back. So that's why they're trying to incorporate new stuff into the All-Stars wave. So it's not just here's, you know, 15 figures that you already had before, that are all, like I was saying before, like these are all using older sculpting technique. Like any of the ones from the first wave, like those Night Bucks and the Skeleton Bucks, like those were all sculpted by hand originally, like actual like sculpted and molded and you know, all that stuff. So like the original designs, so like just the skill and ability has improved. And you know, I think I voted for Azza, the blue girl up in the top left. I voted for Grisha, the Slitherer, the one with the kind of minaret type helmet. And the Gorthok, the Shadow Orc right next to her, whatever Grisha is. They've not confirmed whether it's they're male or female or even human. So and then like I said, Ignatius was my alumni vote at the bottom, but
very cool.
I just love, that's the only character that has that helmet that Grisha has. And I just really love that look. I would love to see more version or 2.0 bodies with more soft goods to get more kind of you know, kind of Middle Eastern Arabian Night looking characters would be really cool.
Yes, I think I might have voted for that She-Ra looking one.
The Valkyrie.
Yes, there, and the fellow below her.
Okay, that's
those look familiar in my vote.
Freya is Freya of Deadhall and Magnus. They're both awesome figures.
Eldor, you and I are both we're old, man. Our memories are failing us. But we just know, well, we voted.
Not enough coffee in the diet there.
And points to Jesse for saying minaret, because that was the second Clash reference of the night, for those of you keeping score. But anyways,
Clash reference, like the
we did London Calling earlier before.
Oh, right. Okay,
the minaret.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
there we go.
Rock the Casbah.
Oh, there's another one. That was more intentional, though.
Yet another reminder of how old I am. All right.
No, we need a little counter thing. I'm gonna have to create a ticker or something like that for that at some point. Count bad dad jokes. How many subscribers I lose over bad dad jokes, and apparently now Clash references.
That's not a bad thing. That's a good
thing.
We call them puns, sir. Puns.
That's a good thing.
So funny.
Apparently on the shows I'm on, it's becoming a drinking game for any time I say the word absolutely.
Well, it gets really bad on here because you and I both will say absolutely a lot.
There's a word that is frequently in my vocabulary as well.
And apparently my coworker watched 5 minutes of Shooting the Shelf a couple weeks ago, and he yelled at me the next day. He was like, I have never heard so many people say the word pauldron so many times in a 5-minute span.
Pauldron.
And he tricked me. I got one of the figures came in. I was opening on my lunch. He's like, "What's this here?" I was like, "Oh, that's a pauldron." And I was like, "Oh, dang it!" And he's like, "Hey, got you, nerd." He is also a customizer. He's not into Mythic Legions, but he'll just buy random stuff and like put screws in it and mold. He just does whatever tickles his fancy. Anyway,
next time he tries to stump you there, sir, say shoulder bell.
Okay.
Were you going through Oz and pulling up comments, or
yeah, I've been pulling up some comments as we've gone down. I wanted to say though, like one of the greatest things that I've seen with the voting, because again, as me being really new to all of this, having just really got in with the Headless Horseman under Figure Obscura, which has gotten me to this point where I'm in love with Mythic Legions. It was really neat to see how many people just voted on parts alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that was really unique because, like, you don't see that from other toy lines. So the sheer amount of people who were like, I'm voting this because they have these parts. And then this person's like, well, I voted these for these parts. And I'm like, that's completely like, I'm loving that with a lot of the modularity that we're seeing in a few different toy lines these days.
Yep.
Yeah, if I think it was in the Wolf Den, run by Len and Wolf King Customs. They asked, what if you were strictly on customizing, how would you vote? I don't remember what I said, but my vote would have been different. Like Boyer definitely would have been a vote if I was picking just for customizing pieces. I love the Dwarf Buck, and the Boyer is just an awesome figure. So, well, Oz, since you're new, what do you have any questions, or anyone in the chat have any questions about All Stars or anything? If you want to pull them up or whatever. Not that I'm the end all be all of knowledge, but I'd be happy to help answer anything I can.
Yeah, that's the point of this, right?
That's right. We're all here to educate and learn. Fortunately for me, being around so many great resources and, kind of being familiar from previous talks that we had about the All-Stars waves. Like I said, we didn't really talk about a lot on the show so much, but we have had some conversations about that. I kind of knew what was going on and got really excited the moment it was announced. I mean, you guys know because we had our chat, and I was like, "Oh man, we need to go and do a special chat, and like we need to do a live show this weekend right now. We got to talk about this." And then we were like, "Okay, well, let's wait a week." Oh yeah, Joe.
I'm learning just as much as you are, sir, because I believe you and I both came into the legions around the same time there. Well, I'd heard about it, but yes, I only started collecting around mid last year or the end of last year, shall we say.
Okay.
Excellent. Oh, end all be all.
So Thanos, of course, is asking when we see the results of the vote, and that's June, right? They're going to be showing.
I believe they said it's June 2nd. So whatever that, I think that's a Friday. I believe they're doing some sort of live stream show to announce the winners, and I'm assuming to reveal probably a mini. Again, I'm just guessing a mini G-Con style where they'll reveal the new figures that they'll be doing. But June 2nd, I know, is when we're at least getting the results of the vote.
Right. So that's just 2 weeks away? 3 weeks? 3 weeks away, right?
3 weeks from yesterday, yeah.
So not too much longer, and we'll get the results. I mean, all the craziness that I saw between the Cabal and all the different, Legion shows across YouTube that I was watching and seeing what everybody was voting for. They got a lot to go through and process from those, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yes. Let's see.
I can't wait for those new reveals, especially since it was sort of named that we're getting Necronominus, and that there will be some Necronominus adjacent or related figures coming in this All-Star wave. So I'm really curious because my brain exploded when I saw that wave, and I'm really kind of curious to see what else can be coming using those parts. So, whew.
I want to see a build off the Topiculi and the Skeletal Horse. Ever since I saw that a little bit, I was like, I hate it.
Yeah.
You know, I agree, Joe. That's one of the reasons why I had to start this show, because there's not enough Legion shows out there. I mean, I know Curtis was taking a big swing the other day talking about different Legion shows. I heard that. I was there for that comment, even though this is one of those shows, Curtis. Uh-huh.
Oh, what happened?
On was that was Shooting the Shelf. He started making a comment about all the different Legion shows and everything, and I was like, hey.
Well, that was because I think my wife was going to kill me podcast for saying they were going to do a game, and they were picking the shows that had legions in the name.
Oh
of the show. So Curtis wanted to change the name of our show to Legion, something or other.
Got it. Well, I mean, hey, that's a good name. Why not?
Yeah.
Legions.
Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the post where they say about what the announcement was going to be, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
Something is definitely coming on June 2nd. But I mean, last year it was a lot longer of a time between the announcement and there was 2 stages of voting, and then it was forever before the stuff announced what was going to be in it and all the new stuff. So
yeah, I remember Jeremy saying it this week on Mythic Conversations, but I
is that where it was? Okay. Maybe because I was watching the show. Maybe I heard it on there and it didn't.
Yeah, I do a lot of background listening sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that 90% of people who watch this show do it in the background listening.
Yeah.
But, that's totally okay. I approve, as long as, you're learning something, and, as long as we're actually teaching something with the show, and you're learning about it. And, the whole idea was to just so people could understand. Well, the very first episode was so that people realized it's not actually as scary going in on this line as people think, because people see that secondary market price and they go, oh my God.
I remember.
But, then it was such a big turnout and a lot of people liked it. We had to keep going with it and just teach more about the line itself.
Yeah.
There we go. Curtis is the man.
There you go. 5:36.2.
So
we'll bookend Memorial Day week. With after Memorial Day with
right
results and reveals at the end of the week.
Well, that's going to be a fantastic week. Then we might have to try to put together a show right around then too. Why not? Hey, whatever. Yeah,
and Adam was right. I've learned to trust Adam. He was correct.
Yeah, he had mentioned it a little bit higher up. And
see, when it comes to numbers and remembering stuff, that's where my brain shuts down. All these weird names, even if I don't always pronounce them right, but there is a pronunciation guide on there now. On the Sword Horseman. That stuff I'll remember and backstories, but when it comes to numbers and orders, sequences, I'm lost.
For me, it really depends on how tired I am at the time I acquire the knowledge, or how tired I am when I'm trying to actually give that knowledge.
I have this thing called Google that tells me things when I ask it. So, I save my brain for others.
that wonderful Googler.
Could you bring up Payne's Aaron's thing? I just again saying I'm very new to the Legions, but I'm digging it far more than I thought I would, and I think this is a good sort of maybe segue to the news that we got today, because I have found that what Aaron's describing there is just it feels consistently true when people actually sort of start to see these things and hold these things for the first time. They look great in photos, right? That you hear about them, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get these things and just it just ramps it up. So I would love to transition to talking about the news today, because this morning, right, we got revealed this. I can sort of share.
Please do, sir. Every time I try to share something right now.
I know. I've noticed that. Yeah.
Bit of monkey business going on there, Blake. I see.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Monkey
business. We'll get to monkey business. But yeah, absolutely. This is the Four Horsemen's Instagram. They teased earlier this week this.
Are you okay, Oz?
I am in love with this figure.
Okay.
So they teased.
No one's going to
this
say
thing.
it, Trevor. No one's going to say it because these pictures are amazing.
Yeah. The pictures, yeah, and people are tripping.
Nobody's going to be able to say
Yes,
it.
I was quite fascinated as I was scrolling down my my feed there.
So we got a tease of this. What?
Picture.
What was that? Wednesday or so? Wednesday, Thursday, or maybe it might have been early.
I think
Thursday.
No,
wasn't
it was.
I think it was Thursday because I remember
Wasn't
having to.
Wasn't it yesterday morning?
It may have been. I don't know.
It was just Friday morning.
I think it was the future. It was the future for me.
I think I've been
a
streaming
day
since
that
Wednesday
ended in
night,
Y.
like straight apparently. So I can't remember what day it is anymore.
It was a day and ended in Y this week, and they revealed this figure, this image, and a lot of us ended up like trying to go through these things and they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's Han.
Down through the scrolls there.
That's looking at things. There's runes and there's the figure obscura, and we've kind of picked up on this line now that we understand that it is a line, because for a while it was just a one-off Krampus figure. And then and they sort of like started fleshing out what this was going to be, and it turns out it's this whole other way of releasing figures using Legion's parts. Based on folklore, legends. And then they said, 5/13/23. So this morning, I'm on the West Coast, 6 a.m. my time, we get to see this figure revealed on sale on Store Horseman. And the reason I was saying, this idea of like getting folks figures in hand, because this is going to be my brother's first Legion's-esque figure that I was just like, nope, I got your birthday present today. And so I know, he's already just seen photos and is in love with this, has heard me talk about it, but this will be the first. I'm
sure he'll feel a prime ape indeed to receive that.
Yeah. And the best thing about these is, there's a lot of great things about them, but one of the great things about them is they come a lot faster, right? This one will come a little bit later, but it'll come in about 2 months from now, or about a month and a half from now.
It seems like it was tiered. Like some people are going to get it in June, or they're going to start shipping in June, but it'll fully ship by July.
Right. Well, and we're May 13 now, so
So the way shipping normally works with Horseman is, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for stuff once it leaves the factory. So it seems pretty light, and they announced Cosmic was on the water now, and they said it was going to start. They would hope to have them by the end of June and start shipping them out through July. With the description they gave us for the shipping on this, we're assuming it's on the boat as well. I don't know if anyone officially confirmed that, but that just seems to line up. So, it can take up to a month for them to ship stuff out. So if you do pre-order stuff, like you were saying, Brick, normally the figure obscura usually starts shipping out that Monday, but they were not able to get this in hand in the studio before, and they just wanted to get this going. So sales for this weren't going during the sales for the pre-order of All Stars. So
yes, he looks rather stunning there, even in his packaging. In that other photo there.
Oh yeah, and the packaging is gorgeous. That's the other thing with this line in particular. They really go all out with the very unique
especially
packaging,
having
making
the wiring
these things
in the soft goods there. You can have it glowing out there and all sorts.
Yeah, man, look at that.
As indeed I had with my Alithia figure there. You can twist it and bend it, and you have your action stances going on there. Especially if you're doing photography and what have you.
I may have heard that differently, but yeah.
I definitely heard what you did, Brick. I was wondering if I was the only one.
Sorry, I was hanging out with Kayla yesterday making Lego with all sorts of innuendo, and it's still in my brain. Look at this monkey. Look at this monkey.
Love it.
Man, it's Sun Wukong. Look at that.
The tooling alone for this, it's gorgeous.
It's quite mind-boggling indeed.
I was literally, I woke up this morning, I was like really, really tired, and I wonder why. So I get up and I got to work this morning, and I'm like, get my coffee and everything, and I'm dragging, and I'm like looking. As soon as I'm clocking in, I'm like, I got 1 hour until the first drop. Saturdays are slow. And so I was sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting for the drop, and just kind of hoping that it wasn't too busy today. And it really wasn't, which was nice because I got plenty of time to admire this morning when it got dropped. I was like, this right here is the most, it's gorgeous. It really, really is.
Look at those proper monkey feet. Woo.
Yeah.
Right.
Although I read the write up on the blog, getting in all the detail about it. I don't know if I can leave him with his monkey feet since he gets these like special slippers for like walking on the clouds
to
or
walk
something.
on the clouds.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I can leave him with his monkey feet just because those shoes sound so cool. So
what I'm hearing is you bought 2.
I got one. I got one. I did get an all in. See, this time I learned with past Figure Obscura. I saw the all in. I had a gift card.
Nice.
I chucked it in my cart. I didn't even really look and see what it was. I saw monkey, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm just getting it. And then after it all processed, I went back and looked at what was in the all in. I was like, oh, cool. Like, because I knew I wanted the pin. I didn't care about the mug. But when I saw it was the metal tumbler, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll actually use that.
I use my tumbler all the time. Now, it's not a Monkey King tumbler, but it's still nice.
Got the phoenix feathers. Got
every part of the
face.
legend.
Look at that, man.
And that's the other thing I'm liking about this figure. It's not head swap as a traditional head swap. You've got 2 different versions of the head, and it's faceplate swaps.
Yep. So
they did not chimp out on options there, you might say.
Oh, now that's an ape. That's not a monkey.
It's true.
The chimp.
It's in the tail, people. It's in the tail.
It's all in the tail.
Which, by the way, Curious George. Anyway, sorry, we can move on. Because it's the theme song, Curious George, Curious Little Monkey.
Yeah,
it's true.
He doesn't. Anyway, sorry, I said I'd move on, but
that's all right.
All right.
It's hard.
Do we need to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah,
we can
it's
dive
okay.
into that here.
On Friday, I've got toy therapy, and I can talk to the guy while I'm on the couch.
Okay.
So
there we go.
Cool.
Yeah, 2 different heads, and the faces pop off. So 2 different heads, 4 different faces. I read that the paint on it was designed to go off the like the performance, like the stage performance,
the kabuki style paint.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but I think wasn't it a different name because isn't kabuki Japanese?
Yeah, it's a different culture, but you get the idea. Yeah.
Well, the legend's also in Japanese culture as well. He's got different name in Japanese culture, but they still have the same tail of the Monkey King. It translates to both cultures.
Okay. I did not know that. I'm learning a lot today, but I love it. I would have liked to have gotten 2. I'll wait and see if I can pick a second one up at a show, or if they have them on tables at a show, or if they do a retailer exclusive down the road with different colors. Because in the book I've written that I will hopefully get published someday, I have a whole race of monkey-like warriors, and I have 2 Planet of the Apes figures that I'm going to use for it. But when I saw these, I was like, ooh. I should have gotten 2.
Oh, these damn dirty
There's
apes.
time. It's not sold out.
Yes, nothing is sold out in the second drop. Even the all-in is still available as of right now.
Yep. I did not do, of course, the all-in, but I was looking at, of course, some of the associated merch and was thinking, yeah, I should probably go back and just grab a little bit, again, the tumbler I really like, as well as I love enamel pins. So
yeah. And the cool thing about the all-in on this one, if you can do an all-in, is it comes with the double pin set. So it comes with the regular pin that you can buy individually, and it comes with like the gold enamel pin that is only available in the all-in. So even if that single pin is available down the road at shows and stuff, the double pin won't be, because that's only in the all-ins.
Just take a moment to look at this photo, folks. Just
The detail in the head
so
that is
good.
a toy.
Rather impressive there. Yes.
That's an action figure.
All of these photos are just fascinating. Just well done. Well done, 1/6 shooter. Well done. But
Bravo, indeed.
Anyway,
we're not just blowing smoke up your tail. Your photos are always beautiful, but
100%.
It's so hard to accept some of these photos that this is a toy.
Right.
The mood of this shot was like, to me, and with the rain and him without his pauldrons just sort of sitting there was just
there he is in the wilderness on the hunt.
Love it.
I mean, just look at all the fur under his on his chin there. Like,
yep.
Yes. The individual details, like all the details in the lion on his armor and boot here is mind-blowing that this is on a toy.
And you look at the arms; those are the same, like Dubon arms, and I'm forgetting the name of the vampire.
Valak. It's got the soft good. Like, obviously, most of the forearm is in those bracers, but from after the elbow down, that's the first time we've gotten fabric. No, wait, no, it's not. No. I'm sorry.
Who else has it?
But because all the ones that have fabric arms have that. Okay. It's just because I think the bracer is just so much more slender.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe Wit had fabric arms in on the pants.
Wit, Dubon, Valak, Krotos, and Bardrick.
And I know there's some stuff going on.
I can remember that. But
I was gonna say that's amazing, man. It's amazing.
You're cool.
You're cool. I've got like 150 students. I'll admit this publicly, and they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, you."
Yeah. Real people forget about it. Fictitious characters in a toy line or a movie franchise. I'm all
about. That's right.
I mean, maybe if my students walked into class looking like a monkey with makeup on,
I like that.
They are worth remembering.
I will remember you. But I'm taking a look at this arm in terms of like the depth of field, right? Or the face in focus. But it makes, well, one, the sculpt is amazing, but two, with that, it just looks like this is fabric, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, gushing a little bit, but
yeah,
gushing on the figure, gushing
with good reason.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I know I saw Sherry comment on a post today, which I don't see her post a lot in the Cabal. But I saw Sherry post. She's one of the painters from Four Horsemen. Yeah. So I don't know if she painted it or if it was a combo between her and Cameron. And I know Joe does some painting. I'm not sure who painted it, but the colors on this are absolutely beautiful. The sculpt is amazing. Nate Barch's art on the packaging and all this stuff is just gorgeous. I love these colors. I don't have an attachment to this character. I mean, I've seen some comics. I know there's some movies and stuff. So I don't have a personal attachment to it, but I love it. And I loved reading about it, and it makes me want to read Into the West now.
As you should.
Yes, it's rather bananas with all the detail and presentation we have in this figure.
You're making it sound more appealing, Eldor.
I have an unhealthy obsession with monkeys in general, with apes in general, Planet of the Apes, you name it.
Right.
But with this character in particular,
we're always monkeying about.
And sure, British bands that were put together by whatever, but just this character is awesome. The fact that we're pulling from Chinese folklore, and so for me, it was just it's wonderful. And this character was familiar with, but also the influence of it, right? And I know people were talking about it on the Cabal and elsewhere. Like, I grew up on anime, and there's a old anime called Space Cateers. Before that was Space Cateers with a character that was based on Sun Wukong, and we got Goku, right? And in Lego, more recently, we've gotten a Monkey King line. Like, there's just
quite literally here.
Yes, in my travels on the old Netflix you have over there on Earth, I think it was Netflix or it might have been the Amazon one. I found the old classic Monkey King. He's rather cheeky fellow. I enjoyed it.
So real quick, I heard you say of the pin set, the gold is only in this 2-pin, but potentially we could see these elsewhere. Maybe.
I know the Father Christmas one sold out to where they did not have them at any of the other shows.
Got it.
Right.
But I know I picked up the I'm pretty sure I picked up the Headless Horseman at Legion's Con, and I think I got Krampus at ZoloCon last year. So
I noticed
how about
they're giving you little coins as well. I saw a fellow unboxing his stash, and he was going through all the coins that you get in
the sigil coins and stuff.
Oh, that's from the game, from the tactics stuff.
That's right. He was unboxing his tactics and whatever.
Yeah, I don't. The way I understand the tactic stuff is that stuff was only available through the Kickstarter and Forge Founder, and that the studio did not order any. That's my understanding. I could be completely wrong or completely right. One of them is true.
And are the shirts
shirts are available. The shirts are available through. I don't believe it's a limited edition because I think you can still get
on
the
their
other
site.
Mm-hmm. But the thing about the shirts is they're sold through
the company.
Retro Rags Limited.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
that is Motu Joe, I believe. Yeah.
He is the official clothing licensor for Mythic Legions and for Horsemen. So any Horseman stuff you want, Cosmic, Mythics, Figure Obscura, it's all there. There are 2 versions of the Monkey King. There's this one with the face. You can pick a couple different color shirt. And then there's the one that's the box front where it's him in the posed with the whole name and the Chinese characters and everything across the bottom. So yeah,
very, very, very cool.
Sometimes their PowerCon ones or their convention shirts are limited where you can order them online and pick them up at the event. Mm-hmm. I believe you can still get some of the other Figure Obscura ones as well.
Great graphic, great piece of art. Do you know? Is this also Nate's?
I believe so.
Okay, cool to see sort of the illustration versus the painting stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Because he does the logo. He's done the logo on all of these for the Figure Obscura. So that logo should be on that face should be on the side of the box, probably the spine. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I love seeing his stuff where it's so detailed like this, so fully rendered and almost like a comic book. And then his other stuff has more. There's a little bit more flow, a little more loose, like the prints you were showing earlier, Brick. I just love the versatility that he has, and his art and skill is just amazing.
Yep. Very cool. Let's see, where was that window? Oh, it's this one. Duh. Okay. Anyway, this was great. It looks like folks have picked it up that are in the chat right now. It's going to be a great figure, fun surprise. We kind of glossed over it because we were just sort of talking through it. But again, this is all compatible with the Mythic Legions line and the Cosmic Legions line. So all these parts are parts that you can take off and add to, other Mythic Legions figures and just create some really cool characters. So
Bill Jurnowski over at Dorklair. He had I didn't get to watch all of it, but he had an awesome figure review. He was able to get an advance, or they sent him an advanced one. And I believe it was him. He showed some part swaps with some other characters, and or he was at least showing them on his page. Where he's swapping parts out between figures. So he is 1.0 parts. So like Krampus, like Headless Horseman. He does phenomenal figure reviews. So there he is with the. I believe that's the Calavian alternate head. Looks like the Gorgo head, but it's the same design. Anyway,
definitely check this out. I loved it. I love being able to send this to my brother today and just be like, no, here, check this thing out, and happy birthday.
I was gonna say, that was this looks good, but the last one was probably my favorite because he's got such. A djinn, a demon. And this screams it, all of it, with the head. I mean, the head itself is a bit more European style demon, but still, just the look of this here, everything, beautiful.
Yeah, if you went to the City of Brass in D&D, this guy would not be a surprise on the street.
Right. Good call.
This is again on YouTube, Dorklair. I for some reason can't drop links in the chat, but
is it not letting it?
We'll add it. I can't even add anything to the comments for whatever reason. That's fine. But Dorklair, awesome work. Always like I just love. I get so much info.
I love
loving the way he handles these figures, and
I love seeing this stuff on the Krotos body. Again, it's the dwarf. It's the stockier build because he's shorter.
Yeah.
But there's one where he's got the head on. Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
The 2.0 body to 1.0 head adapter is great. Oh man, that's so great.
That looks like the skirt piece on it.
That is that's Swig. That's the Swig.
Or another one.
Yep, the Goblin Alchemist from All Stars 5.
Still available. I mean, what?
Yep.
Not chilling. I'm not chilling. You're chilling.
I love the pose. It's just great. Yeah. So, anyway, definitely
the link to this review in the chat for everybody.
If for whatever reason you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. And I hope this is just as big a video as was his Headless Horseman for him, because that was cool too. This is great too for again folks who are newer to the line. You get to kind of see what a figure looks like taken apart.
Yep. I don't even bother doing like reviews unless like I get stuff and I just open up and be like, this is cool, because Bill and some of the other folks that do these just do such a better job. I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother.
That's how I feel. Like I do my unboxings without even showing the unboxing because somebody else did a better job.
Look, I don't know what I could add to that other than be like, this is so cool.
Be lucky if I don't
really like that. I really like that scale mail waist piece.
Yes.
This man,
again, parts alone from this one, even if you have.
How much are livers going for in the black market?
I'm actually looking for some, so I should probably start pricing those. I'll let you know when I find out. Jesse.
Okay, let me know, or you can just pay me in a couple more Monkey Kings.
Right. Well, I should go buy another one at least for the all-in.
That's just a joke. We don't want to get Oz in trouble. No one is trafficking human body parts for figures on this channel.
Not here. We only recommend that you buy with actual currency.
Yes.
Gotten through goodly means or whatever.
My tricks don't work on me. Only money.
With your greasy elbows, or however that went.
Right.
Fun fact. I just remembered. So some of the sort of graphics that I put together for the channel features a Sun Wukong Lego minifig, custom Lego minifig I did a while back. That were done in the short run. And folks, we have skunks in California, and apparently there's a skunk outside this window. Let me close this window.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
I love
the stinkhole's out from about there.
The picture that Trevor did, it's my favorite picture I think I've ever seen of his, is the one where the Monkey King is jumping, like you're down below and you see him like jumping down at you with the the trees up. I love just the green and the gold in that.
Everything. Like
it's just, you can just imagine just like walking through the woods. You're like, you see that in a movie or a show, the bad guys or someone's coming through and you just hear this rustling, and then all of a sudden you just hear that shriek and you look up and he's dropping down on you to kick your ass. Like, so cool.
I said this morning while I was working, I was so happy and glad that it was kind of slow because it gave me time to just look over this while I was waiting. And I'm like, this is one of the most gorgeous figures ever. Like, I was excited as soon as the announcement was made that they were going to drop it this weekend. I was pumped. And then kind of been counting it down, wait until this morning. Had no idea what we were looking at. Even Paynes earlier was saying, I'm really hoping it's something that I don't want so I can just skip this one. And then it dropped, and it was everything I didn't know that I did want.
Sorry there, sir. I just had something that needs my attention there. I'll be back soon.
So
it's not a skunk.
Oh man, Brick, I feel for you, man, because I've been around those before. Oof.
I don't know if this ever worked for you, but someone used to say to me when I'd smell skunk and I'd react because that's a horrible smell. They're like, "Oh, it's just puppy breath." I'm like, "No,
What? You were
know
sniffing the wrong end of not a puppy.
I wasn't sniffing it. That's what
No,
they
that
said
other
to
guy
me.
was. Yeah,
It's
that
been
other
a while
guy.
since I've made out with a puppy, so I forget.
I mean, like puppy's breath is foul, but it does not smell like
Not
skunk.
like that. No,
Not like skunk.
no.
Anyway,
That's what he smells like.
we
He
will
smells
survive.
like skunk.
He smells like glorious plastic. I'm glad he doesn't smell like patchouli.
I might
All
fix
right,
that.
that was like the latest, right? I mean, there has been a lot since we've all gotten together. I mean, I don't even think we even talked about, not that we have talked about it, but the Cosmic Legion's latest wave. I don't believe, did we?
No, we talked about that month before last.
Okay.
When they announced it, we talked about what we were excited for with the homages. That's the other news that also dropped too, is that Cosmic Legions is on its way, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So those who pre-ordered will soon be getting theirs. As a matter of fact, I believe somebody even mentioned before they think these are on the boat with the Cosmic Legions coming over, which is probably the truth. But that's very exciting, and I can't wait to see all the new pictures coming from everybody and the reviews of these, getting these amazing Cosmic Legions in their hands. Oh, God, they're so... The Four Horsemen have just... I didn't know how much they had impacted my life ever since I was young with Spawn and all their sculpting of McFarlane toys, and then moving into that 2000X He-Man. But it's so crazy how, like, through my love of toys, I've followed these guys like pretty much the majority of my life. And here I am again with their own IP, and just everything they're doing just screams to me. So I'm so glad to be a part of it and haven't gotten into it. And again, Shawn, you're not here, but thank you, brother, for helping me out get the Headless Horseman, because that's what pushed me over the edge finally into getting more into these. And you know, they're like Pringles. You know, once you pop, you just can't stop.
No, Curtis, no. Skunk smell is not worse than mayo taste for me.
Good to know. Never put mayo on one of Jesse's
It's
sandwiches.
close. It's generally easier to avoid skunk than it is mayo.
I don't know. You know, if a skunk's crawling up on you and it's going to spray you, there's not much you can do to stop that. But I have never met a food service place once where if I said don't put mayo on that, they didn't listen.
Oh, I have many times.
I'm sorry.
The mayo part, like I'm not usually outside where skunks just roll up on me, but that said, I don't know what that means.
Yes, now that we've gone beyond Jesse's preference to not have mayo anywhere in the world,
it's apparently a theme. It's a theme of the weekend. Is what it is.
It was a thing that came up on the show that I don't like mayo a while ago, and it's just become like a running gag literally now.
It was a while back. Okay.
Yeah, but like last night, Curtis broke out the jar of mayo and did it on screen. So
heard about it.
What about if you put hot sauce on it? Does it make it tolerable?
The mayonnaise?
Yeah. Or do you not like hot sauce at all? See,
I don't like mayonnaise. There's no. Brick, that's awesome.
Brick, how you always manage to frame your head perfectly, I will never get.
We're running on time. I don't know. Do we pick back up and do some of these races and go back? Because I think we've got a couple left over. Or what are you all feeling? And how's the class doing?
How is the class feeling? We're like almost 2 hours into this and we haven't actually touched the topic of tonight because of all of the big news that's happened. We may need to do a follow-up stream.
Yes, I just had a few clever monkeys calling me for my Meals on Wheels there, bringing me a bit of a meal around soon. So,
look, you're not the only one.
You
Jesse.
do fun stuff
Ted's
in New Zealand. Man.
Thank you, Ted.
Oh, Thanos too. You're not the only one
Right.
out there.
Okay.
People are hating on the
Allison's,
mayo.
I don't
Allison's
judge-
brother as well.
I don't judge people who use it. I would not like it on my sandwiches or other things. There's been every now and there's
Sorry,
other
go ahead.
people. There's been things where people have been able to like sneak it in where it's mixed in with something
That's different.
and enough of the flavor, but it's not like you bite into a sandwich and it's like, oh, this is nice. And then there's this. It's like if you get a burrito from Taco Bell and they put all the cream cheese or the sour cream, sorry, at the end of the burrito. So it's, oh, this is great, and you get that last bite and it's just like this huge glob of sour cream. Like, come on. That's
It,
gross.
it reminds me of
Well, you're right.
my
It should be
father
just
there.
spread
When he
around.
was young, he didn't like a kidney there. And his mum, of course, would try to hide the kidney and all sorts of different things, but he would always taste it and pick it out there.
Kidney? Like kidney beans?
No, the meat, I think. The kidney meat.
Oh,
Actually eating the organs. People do that.
Yes,
It's totally cool.
yes.
yeah. I don't think that I've had intestines.
I've never had it myself. I
Brain?
can't say.
Okay. I was just going to say Curtis and Allison should probably talk and figure out ways to up the ante. Sorry, Jesse.
It's okay. Please don't. Seriously,
Guys, do not
if
torture
anyone-
Jesse with mayo,
If
please.
anyone pranks me with mayo at
No,
Legion's
we-
Con, like you are dead to me.
No,
Like,
we don't.
That will.
Don't do
this-
it, guys.
I
I'll be rolling
will-
with
I
Jesse.
will
I won't.
admit-
I won't be happy with you.
I don't get angry at a lot of stuff, and I know the people that work at restaurants that put the mayo on it. They're just doing their job. Most of them probably minimum wage. It's probably. I don't blame them, but I never yell at them, but I get irrationally angry when I bite into a sandwich when I've asked for no mayo. Like, I just lose my shit in my car. Like, I can't help it. And then I calm myself down. I'm like, it's mayo. There's worse problems in the world. Just wipe it off and choke it down.
Well, good on you for realizing, that those people are probably not happy and not really caring that you said no mayo on there. Good for you, though. Because that is the way a lot of those people feel. Having formerly been
Yes.
a line cook. Like, it's not that you read it and you purposefully don't listen to the
Right.
ticket. I mean, I know that happens in some cases.
It's probably
But
a
you
force
just
of habit, you see.
do
You've
not
done it
care
for so
enough.
long.
To pay attention.
Yeah, it's just muscle memory. That's fine.
You're like, okay, I got to make such and such, and this is how that's made. Oh, crap. That said not to put this one there. You go back to it.
It happens.
Anyway,
So, are we actually going to go into tonight's topic? I mean, we're an hour and 47
Yes.
minutes in. I'm totally okay to keep going as long as you guys are. I will say I will probably dip off screen a little bit so I can refill my coffee, but
I may too, just in case these monkeys come around with my dinner there.
How about
I don't
we
wanna
do the
keep you from the
one?
dinner.
Let's zoom through. We said avians, and what else haven't we done?
I already can't remember because
Okay, well, let's see.
I
Just
think
throw
that's
the hobbits
pretty
in
much
there.
it.
Is that pretty much it?
I
Well, then let's
think
do it.
so.
Let's go
'Cause
through
the-
it and
The Swale Goblin and the Fuzz Monks we mentioned during the Goblin segment. I
Right, we
think,
did
at
bring
least
those up.
briefly because there's only
Okay.
one of each. So
all right.
yeah.
Let's go through that relatively quickly. And Bud, there's a place I need to take you to someday. Belgian fries, where they give you all the wonderfully flavored, yummy mayo you can
I'm
get
hungry
to
already.
you with your fries. Just saying. Okay. Is this the right one? All right. So actually, we said we it's been a while since we've done this, and again, I don't know if there are newer folks, but we'll kind of quickly zoom through sort of the different pieces of the lore really, 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 really quickly. I swear. So let's do that, and then we'll get to the avians. So the very first episode, I believe we went through, this is Mythoss, this is the world, or maps. They're gorgeous, breaking down all the different places that this toy line takes place in. And you can find this all on the Four Horsemen website. The the big picture of the lore, the origin story, there are two gods or two god beings. And there are a couple, and they create the beings on this world, and the one on the right, Helios, gets sort of jealous of the relationship that Selene has with these beings and creates other creatures and creates havoc in the world, and hilarity ensues. No, chaos ensues, and this creates conflict. And there are different factions. Again, I'm doing this big picture style. The army of Laodiceus, they all have really cool logos that I hope someone out there has these tattooed on their bodies because they deserve to be. The Legion of Erether, the Order of Aetheron, the Congregation of Necronominus. And if I'm going through this, and you can read, but if some of these names sound familiar, like that one, and remind you of the figure that Eldor was holding up earlier, or the shield that we saw, that's because these different factions follow some of these beings, some of the four horsemen, etc. Some of them don't. And, just maybe this is a tease to what's going on. Many characters, most characters are affiliated with one of these factions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there. And these are the different races. I think this list is, I don't know, for whatever reason in my head, I keep thinking it's not totally complete. But if anybody knows, you can catch it and tell us. So these were updated, as you can see, even with some of the newer things that were introduced recently with Necronominus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I see two already. Where are the hobbits and the treants? Wrong pen size there. Wrong pen size there, Eldor. Sit down.
As far as we don't exist in Mythos yet.
Did you say we don't? Sorry, did you say as far as we know we don't exist, or they don't exist?
They don't exist as far as we know.
I thought you were claiming Hobbit tonight. I was like, all right, right on.
No.
It's a wrong franchise there, Gandalf, sir.
So we went through a lot of these, and again, as you can tell, my memory sucks. But we said that we'd talk about the avians if I can get it to work. There you go. Oh. And so what are we talking here? Avian sounds like aviary, sounds like flying things, people. Birds.
Yes.
The Hawkmen die.
So the these were largely released as a wave called Aetheron's Dozen. So that's Aetheron. That is the crowned eagle god, is the ideological head of the Order of Aetheron, which is largely an army of knights. That's where the Templars are and all that stuff, heroic. And he is carrying the Heaven's Brand sword. He was one of the four great beasts that opposed the Dark Four, which were the four horsemen. So these bodies all use the same buck. They've got some different feat options. There are some the different paint options that are different, but a lot of the heads are different. But it's largely the same build on this whole line. And they were the same bodies used in the Gothotropolis wave line of figures, where it was like the ravens. There was a couple birds over there. So this was kind of a fun offshoot line. But unfortunately, the molds were lost and or damaged. So these will not, at least as in this form, get re-released. A lot of people ask to get them re-released, but they're
amazing figures indeed. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, there's a ton of great stuff here. I love all the different designs. So I'm scrolling through my screen of them, and you've got them over here. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Do you have any?
I have one. He's not in this. I don't think he's in this list. He might have been from Gothotropolis. I have Mythoss, the gold eagle. That's kind of the companion to Egalis, the USA themed one.
So Gothotropolis, again, for folks unfamiliar, that was a separate toy line.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
It was before Mythic Legion, so it was before the 2015 Kickstarter. So I'm not exactly sure. I was not into them. I wasn't even really aware of the Four Horsemen as a company at that point. But they
I wasn't aware of them at all either.
They've had a couple other waves before Mythic Legions.
I knew of them, obviously due to a Master of the Universe, of course.
But the Gothotropolis and Seventh Kingdom, which was a line of animals like elephants and different creatures like that, which were really cool figures, just didn't quite. I don't think they didn't do. This is where my knowledge is a little more fuzzy. I know they sold, but the birds, this wave of birds, the Aetheron's dozen, I believe they said like they were trying to like even clearance these out on Big Bad Toy Store and stuff. Where like which they normally never put their stuff on clearance, the Horseman stuff, or at least the Mythic Legions and things. But like you could get these like nobody wanted them, and then they finally ran out, and now that it's been so long, nobody has them anymore, and these things fetch crazy prices now.
Well, that's better there.
Yeah, so.
I'm all named sad because I would love some of these are just amazing, but
yeah,
indeed, Bricks, yes.
Maybe someday, maybe they retool. No, I don't know, but
and I don't know if it's true with all of them. I have heard there's some minor complaints with these that some of the joints aren't as stiff. So if they do revisit any of these, I imagine they will come much better sculpted. Not that these are poorly sculpted in any way, but if they revisit these, I feel like it would be a better turnout for these creatures. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Which one was Thanos referring to? I see he said he really likes this one. Who's this guy?
I believe it was the like more Archaeopteryx, the
green and orange one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's Archaeopteryx. So they're all named like after slightly avian names. So you've got Bubatros the owl, Colonel Domesticus the chicken, Cyanicus, Draleon's a dragon.
Colonel.
Yep. Colonel Domesticus. It's a red and white chicken, a rooster.
He said the second slide.
There we go.
Yeah, the second slide.
Here's a secret recipe there. Yes.
Yeah, that's Archaeopteryx. Yeah, and then there's
the Colonel.
Colonel Domesticus. Then there's am I allowed to say that? Malatard the duck?
Go for it.
That's down here. Oh, you are Malatard.
Anybody gets offended by being called a mighty duck, that's on them.
I'm not sure what. Like, I mean, I get mallard. I don't know what the rest of that is. Osprey is the osprey. Pelicus, the pelican. Phoenicus, which I believe there's an alternate version that might have been in the. I don't know if it was exclusive, but there is an orange version of the Phoenicus. The blue, like that head sculpt is amazing. Scarlet Tross, Tukar, and Trumpetus. Or Trumpetus. Yeah, these are all just so cool looking. The colors are great. But yeah, they were named as Aetheron's dozen. Branded under Mythic Legions, whereas the original versions of these were under or like in that Gothotropolis waves.
They just blow me away. Like, they're as ornate and as gorgeous as the birds they are modeled after. Like they really capture that look with each and every one. And I remember when I first started seeing pictures of these going around online, I was like, what the, blown away by it.
So was there much of a difference in the armor as opposed to what we see nowadays with your pop and swap ports at the back and whatever?
Yes. These are because they were a different line. These were all based on the Gothotropolis. So they do have pegs in the back. So you'll sometimes see people selling wings with they'll say it's like the small pegs or the large pegs or the old pegs or the new pegs. So the old wings there were much smaller. than the typical pauldron or wing pegs,
see.
like the wings on Varg, say, or Xenothon that are the bird wings. Like it's the same sculpt for the wing, but the peg is different.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're great.
True.
I had a friend buy a Dralion because he wanted to give it to his karate sensei as a thank you, because their symbol for their class is a dragon. So he found a Dralion. It was expensive, but it was definitely someone who was selling it that didn't know how much more it should have been. And he was like, "Can you paint this?" I'm like, "No." I did it. I eventually, I loosened it up. Just because I was like, I don't want to mess this up. He's like, it's okay. He's like, I'm asking you to do this. So he seemed pretty pleased with it, but it was my first time taking apart one of the birds. It was only the second bird I'd ever actually held in hand. The other one being the one I have. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to paint, like dry brush. It was like the scales and everything was, this was one of the most fun figures I've had painting. Just with all the different textures and stuff on it. It definitely had some challenges to it, but it was a lot of fun.
I love this one. I'm a Leo, according to one horse, according to one zodiac, and I'm a lion, according to another zodiac. So
Isn't
the
that
dragon,
the same thing?
lion. What did I say? What's that?
Oh, you said Leo and lion.
Oh, sorry, I meant a Leo and a dragon.
Oh, okay.
In the sort of Eastern Chinese zodiac, I'm a dragon. So I'm a dragon lion. So this one, I was like, oh, but
I see.
Yes, I looked up your peculiar signs there, and I came up as a pair of fish. Pisces there.
I'm a Capri Sun.
Yeah, these are great. And so, and the lore, how are these sort of like, we know, well, Aetheron has a faction, right? So you were starting to say that.
Yeah, Aetheron. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, just going to say, wondering about the other guys, the dozen.
None of them have bios.
Okay.
So there's no story for them really.
Cool.
Yeah, so if you go to Source Horseman, you click on biography. None of the Avian Warriors released in Aetheron's doesn't include biography except for Aetheron himself. They're simply shown a pair of characters on the side panel of the package. So I think it was just a fun way to reuse existing parts and molds they had. And to bring in Aetheron himself, which I do hope at some point we get a version 2 upgrade of him.
Yeah.
And Xylon are the only two of the good great beasts that we have so far. And I hope they make like a larger scale version of them, like at least brute scale, if not ogre scale.
Wow. Yep, dare to dream. Okay.
So looking at all these avians, I just had to open up my Xenothon because of the wings. They are so freaking impressive looking at them. Like the demonish bat vampire wings are great, but the detail in the feathering, it's superb. Like, you know, you do leather wings, it's leather wings. Here, Jesse, let me get you full screen real quick. Since yours is fully out and opened up and looking gorgeous, by the way. Got to get our toys to play with.
Is that a spare head? Is that a spare head you get with that, Jesse?
Yes. Xenothon comes with the gray orc head and the painted red helmet head too. Yeah, and I just saw someone this week cut theirs apart, and they cut the lower face off the orc face and glued it up into the helmet. They cut the bearded part of the helmet off to make it look more like what's his face? Stratus.
Well, how Stratus would look like normally.
Oh, that's cool. The AWOC head.
That is a flying monkey. I'm very familiar with those.
So sadly, these barbarian torsos, I can't. I'd have to shave you.
Got to do some work,
but the colors and just even the red and blue on the mandrill face, perfect.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Phenomenal.
Flying monkeys flying out of your.
Love it.
they'll be bringing us a barrel monkeys next.
So the cool thing about Xenothon is he's what do they call him? An Oraphim. So he's like a crossbreed between an orc and an angel,
right?
Which is such a weird combination. I love it, and
that's what I was thinking too. Like when I started reading his bio before getting him, it was just like an orc and an angel. All right, who was microdosing when they came up with this idea? But I love it.
Love is love.
Hey man, love is love. Yeah, you can't control love.
That's true.
The heart wants what the heart wants.
The heart wants more mythic legions.
Heart is an untrustworthy source. That's not jaded. I'm not being jaded.
Yeah, these are great. I'm with you. At least I would love to see Itheron, and as I think it was Joe saying, like all of the good gods would be great.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I have a feeling we'll definitely see Basilia and Leodicius himself at some point, but I would love to see Itheron and Xylona get updates because as much as I like Xylona's flock, and again, I'm not trying to bash anyone because I can't sculpt this stuff, her figure is a little underwhelming as far as how I imagine her when I read the stories about like the fact that she's same scale as the regular figures and everything. It's like these are the gods, like the beings they named their factions over. They need to have a little more mass to them since they don't have horses to ride.
Yeah.
The best is yet to come. So
every you hear a bit of rumbling there. Yes, we're just having a bit of a lightning storm at the moment.
So I thought that was your stomach.
No,
waiting for your food.
It's starting to rain a little, but yes, I just heard a little bit of a rumble there. So if you hear any loud bangs, it's the weather.
Stay safe.
Well, those are the avians. That was great. And I guess we were saying we did see everything. So
I'm pretty sure we made it through everything.
Did we do Mysterious? The Mysterious? I think we did. Because
I don't remember.
There's...
Oh, no. We did not go through
we did not go through these.
Oh, I don't recall, no.
Well, there's 2 in here, I think, and there should be more, but we've got 2 in here. So this figure might feel familiar if you're here earlier when we were talking about All-Star 6. Who is this?
This is Azza Spiritbender. She is from the Convocation of Basilia, I believe. And she was in the was she in Advent of Decay? Yes. Yeah, she's in the Convocation of Basilia. Her race is listed as ? And she is a necromancer. So yeah, I think this is a really cool character. I love the mix of the typical armored knight upper torso, and then the bearskin lower torso, and the tattoos, and whatever those markings are. I mean, she does magic, so I'm sure it has some sort of importance to what she does or who her people are. I would love to learn more about that in the future. Yeah. I just like that blue and that blue skin and that purple hood and everything just really pop. I think she's really, and she's a good necromancer, so she's on the good guy side, and like necromancy is usually dark stuff.
Indeed.
So
normally the good guys shun the necromancy.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if we'll get more of her story and stuff. So her bio does say that even her close allies are lost to her origins, where she learned her magic, and the meanings behind the cryptic markings cover her skin. So she is a mystery even to her friends, and they all prefer to have her as an ally than an enemy. So she sounds pretty, maybe not dangerous. Ooh, that's a fun thunderstorm.
Oh yes, I think it's He-Man calling the powers of Grayskull. Every time he does it, so horror and red hailstorm above the castle there, and wakes me up.
Or there's necromancy involved, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this figure is totally. This was definitely one I was interested in voting in on for the All-Star 6, but again, I don't remember what I landed on. But it's like this. It's definitely a unique character in the line. There are other sort of blue skin characters, elves, but this is a different shade. It kind of reminds me of one of the demons, but right with a tattoo, really cool. And I get like Chiss vibes, Thrawn vibes. I get I get Nightcrawler vibes. I get Mystique vibes. It's just a lot of things. References are there that just make me love this character. So
a little bit of Drow
I get more Keldor there or Skeletor sometimes.
Right. So anyway,
and
very cool.
I love I like the more realistic look on the gunmetal. Well, I guess it wouldn't be gunmetal, but like the steel colors and everything. But characters that work with like bright color combos, I love it.
And then the other mysterious one is one that we've seen.
Daith. The unknown one. Yeah, this was cool. I love the story behind the making of this. How it was either Bill or Joe from the studio were in during COVID times when no one else was in the studio, and he was just picking parts together and came up with this build. And they weren't sure if they were going to get that vein paint in there. And Brick, do you have this one?
I do, but it's remember Lino.
Oh, that's right. But the wings, most of the wings are generally like a solid color. So the fact that they went in there and did all like the veins and details on that are amazing.
I have those wings right here. Bear with. Actually, Brick might get them quicker than I do.
No. Go for it.
Mine.
I suppose they're the same as the Varg wings there, Jesse.
Yeah, it's the same sculpt as the Varg wings or the demon wings, Aerithir wings. But yeah, on a Daith, the unknown one, I just love the story that you gotta embiggen yourselves, guys. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
I just think they are really cool. And just so I want to say it was Bill. I could be wrong. I apologize. If anyone else in the chat is watching that remembers if it was Bill Mancuso or Joe Vesapolo, I think it was Bill. Because I think Bill was on Jeremy's show talking about this. But yeah, yep.
For comparison, you got these. So, I can't even see the veins.
Since you have those in hand, Brick, hold those. So for folks watching at home or wherever you're watching this, you see those little kind of diamond-shaped pieces. Those they haven't been as frequent lately, but almost every figure used to come with two. And they would have either a larger hole or a smaller hole. And that's because they were still transitioning from the small pegs from the avians to the bigger style pegs. Yep. So there's jokes about like if you get like so many pounds of adapters, you can trade it in for a figure. But that's not true. That's
still going.
That's just a joke.
That's always the question people ask. Like, what is this thing I got with a small hole? What is that for? And so
I got those pieces in I forgot what Legion Builder it was, but yes, I posted that on the Legion Builders. What are these peculiar things? And they said, they're wing adapters for when you have your pauldrons on or what have you. But I do find that they hold the wings in much more better than just plugging them into the ports that you get on that, because they tend to droop if you have them spread out wider.
Yep. Yeah, so the 1.0 body, so like the unknown one here comes with, it's got like the larger back peg, and there are smaller ones, similar design, but the peg that plugs into the back is smaller for the 2.0 bodies, like the Malphar, the blue demon that Brick held up at the beginning of the show. So that also come with he probably has two, the smaller peg hole and the bigger peg hole. So if you had those older wings with the smaller pegs, you could put those in him instead.
Yes, I bought the Varg figure there to customize with the Erwit figure to make a custom Hudson from the Gargoyles there, so I have to paint his wings according to the colors that you get on the character there and what have you.
In an alternate universe, I would have blue wings for this and another set of red wings.
I
Right.
love. He comes with the little blue wings,
Mm-hmm.
so it's basically the same as the full size wing. It just has like a tiny little capper instead of the full. So it's got like the bottom part of the wing.
It's got this part, but not this
Yep.
part.
Yeah, it's got some sort of piece that attaches on up there, so that peg on it still functions. But I
and
love
then you
those.
can also use these for your unknown one cosplay.
Yeah. Or if you want to make
hold it up again, Bricks.
if you want to make a harpy or some sort of other demon, the large peg wings actually plug into the armholes on the torso on the 1.0 bodies.
That's cool. I was just gonna say I would have had blue wings and red wings. I forgot what summer that was, but that's the only time I've ever been hit by a porch pirate. Was some dude got away with some Mythic Legions wings. So I hope
Probably
you enjoyed
opened
them.
it up. He opened it up like, what the?
And went nerd and tossed them.
Hopefully, they didn't rethink his job there. As it were.
Gotta start thinking about those life choices.
So, yes. So back to the story on this Adaith. He's this being that comes out and lingers over, the dead bodies on the battlefield, almost like a kind of like a predatory Valkyrie type creature. No one knows what his race is. The only name that anyone ever has for him is Adaith, as the bio reads. And the Legion's Con exclusive does come with a skull head, but I really like the helmeted head because it keeps that mystery as to what is actually in that helmet. So
same.
Yeah, and he looks the colors in these in the images are good, but when you see it in your hand, like the colors there's like the eyes are red up under that slit in the visor, and there's so many cool little subtle colors that when you're trying to get like the stock photos like this to show off the general feel, just don't quite capture all of it.
But you're right.
Yeah.
The detail that's really involved with him, I was blown away when I got it. Now, I got just the retail release version. I didn't get the con exclusive, so I was missing some of the soft goods. And like you said, the skeletal head. But the elements that make him feel so... I can't even really think of the best word for it, but epic comes to mind. It just doesn't seem to do it enough justice. But for real, like, he is one of the best figures I've ever had.
Yeah. He's he's one of those that you wouldn't think would be so striking because it's like, you squint your eyes and there's not a whole lot of contrast, but there's something about this figure. It's great. And I have a buddy who's looking at these and was just like, "Oh, you made those little custom blades and you used rubber bands." Like, no, dude. But they look so good. They look, the way they're painted, they look really real. And I can't zoom in on this slideshow, but anyway, just a lot of cool little details like that. Like you mentioned, the eyes. That was the thing that I love looking at that. I can't even imagine getting in there with those tiny brushes. Again, I want to be a fly on the wall in these factories, man. Just seeing folks.
I feel like I'd have to pull one of those helmets up. I feel like the helmet on these are like an insert that goes up, like the neck. I think not like a swappable piece. I could be wrong. I don't have one of those helmets.
But you mean like a glued piece, right?
Yeah, like
that would make some sense.
But yeah, and Joe's saying, I'm making a point. These are all reused parts because Bill Mancuso in the studio. He was cleaning up and he just cobbled some parts together, and they were like, oh, let's, so yeah, all those parts came from, the only thing new on him besides the paint was the soft goods. That if you got it at Legion's Con, which is just a little kind of like stamped out piece of black fabric that just made it look like the skirting around it was more tattered, which is cool, but you're not missing anything for the overall look of the figure if you don't have it. Get yourself an old black like thermal shirt.
Just go to the craft store around Halloween time.
And
plenty of little black burlap material that you can strip up and throw on there.
Yeah, and anything you do that will be cool looking. So, yeah, and if you got the Ilgar, the skeleton Viking from All Stars 5 Plus re-release, you can just pop that black head on there, black skull rather, on him if you want the skull look. It's not an exact match, but it's pretty close.
The Ilgar figure looks too good to just waste his head on this.
Do you remember how much these were at the con? I'm trying to remember. I had someone pick it up for me from Legion's Con.
At the con, the unknown one was $50, and you could get two.
So just because I saw, Mike V was saying these figures are pricey. Well, some are. Yeah, and so way back in one of the first episodes, we were kind of talking about that, right? That's largely what that early conversation was, as Oz brought up earlier. On the secondary market, they can be, but when this figure first came out as a con exclusive, it was $50, and then there's a retail version that is missing an exclusive skull head. And how much was that?
$50, wasn't it?
Same, also 50.
I don't think it was much more than that.
Was it 50 or 65?
And this is a deluxe figure. Yeah.
Somewhere around
Either way, it would have been too rich for my wallet.
It was like. Yeah, in pre-order, right, or at conventions, this figure was $50, and it is more of a quote unquote like deluxe figure, the ones with the wings and everything. But like when this is not probably the best example, but I picked this up for $40, which is an older figure, and when it was initially sold, it was right around that price, right?
Is that the Trapjaw tribute they said?
This is the Trapjaw tribute.
Yep.
And so they can be really pricey, but in the secondary market. But there's also, especially if you're sort of looking as new figures come out, they're a little over like $35, depending. You can I think you can get them. Go ahead.
The deluxe builder wave that came out last year. The deluxe goblin, the deluxe dwarf, the barbarian, all of those, I believe they were $27 on the pre-order. And I believe they are generally, those are $30 at shows. So you pay $3 more at the show, but you've also paid your gas. You've paid more to get there. But if you get to a show, they're $30 on the table, or at least they were up till now. I know sometimes they have to adjust their prices, but the named characters are $40, and then the ones like Xenothon should be considered a deluxe figure because he comes with wings. He's that $40 price point at shows, and he's got two heads. Just like this guy, he was $50 because he was a con. So con exclusives always have a little bit more price on it because it's exclusive to that show. So the Legion's con exclusives have a little more wiggle room there because because Jeremy and Joe Viteri are so. I mean, Jerry works with the Horsemen, so there's all that going on. They plan ahead so they can sell some on Legion shop afterwards of the con exclusives because they So yeah, if you are just joining the line and you are a completist, this line is probably a nightmare if you have a budget. I've seen people do it since I've joined the Cabal. They're like, I just joined 2 months ago and I'm 3 figures away from completing the line. And I'm like there's the PowerCon figures the PowerCon figures don't get re-released.
Right. So
Adamon, Keltis, the He-Man, Skeletor, like they won't re-release those. There was one that was strictly a Kickstarter exclusive from that very first Kickstarter. I think it's the dwarf. I could be wrong, but there was one from the original Kickstarter that is. Are you reaching for it, Brick?
No, no.
I was just like, got him hanging out back there.
They'll never remake that one again. It's all you could, if you have the painting skills or know someone that can, you could have someone remake it. But that figure, that specific, I can't remember which one it is, will not get remade. At least as maybe there'll be a version 2 down the road.
Anyway, yeah, I just brought that up because they can be pricey, but there's a little bit of some myth around the Mythic Legion's prices too, and some things to demystify too. So that,
and
just
especially if you look at the now granted, I'm not saying they aren't, they're worth the price difference, but if you were to go into a store and buy a Black Series figure, anything from Hasbro, you're going to be paying almost $30 at this point for the standard figures.
Yeah.
Like I got the 80s Rogue costume from Amazon a couple weeks ago, right? She comes with 2 hands. That's it. It's her. There's no Build-A-Figure. It's just her figure and a set of extra hands.
Are they gloved and ungloved?
No. Fist or open hand.
Come on now. How are you going to make a rogue without a... Okay,
but that's fine. That's fine. She doesn't, Okay. Yeah. But like, that's it. I mean, she doesn't need accessories, but like, why isn't this figure slightly less priced? Now, granted, I know it's a new head and everything, but yeah, Sir Valgard. Thank you, Joe. But that figure was $27. Yeah. And that's only ever going to be, granted, it's my favorite costume of Rogue, but that's only ever going to be that version of Rogue. And that's fine. Like, that's what that is. But, you pay a little bit more and you get Xenothon for $40 at a show with the wings, the 2 different heads, so yeah, it is a little bit higher price at the base if you are just coming with a new set. But if you get it on the pre-orders, or if you can get them at conventions or shows that they go to from the Four Horsemen vendors, and right now they're running a $35 sale all month on all the retailers that want to participate can sell the deluxe Legion builders that you were just showing for $35.
$35 a month. You got the Gladiator, Barbarian, Goblin, and I'm missing one. Skeleton,
and the Dark Templar, whatever they have in stock left. Right. Those are all on sale for $35, and I know the Half Giant and the kit are also on sale, but I can't remember if everybody's doing that with the combo on the prices. But yeah, so it can be scary, like I said, especially if you're jumping in, getting on eBay. Yeah.
I'll tell you, these days action figures are scary, but
yeah.
I agree with Thanos too. For me, just getting jumping isn't overwhelming if it's something that's like awesome for me. But yeah,
jumping in at Necronominus Wave was probably the worst idea for me because I love skeletons and bones and stuff like that. So it was probably like my worst nightmare to not exactly get all in, but at the same point in time too, it's like I'm really cherry picking this line. I mean, there are a lot that I want that I'm just not gonna grab, not necessarily because of the price, but there's other stuff that it's like, I do really like that, but not enough because I'm really, really liking this one instead. So I'm going to go this way as opposed to that way with it.
Yeah.
And it's really one of the most fulfilling toy lines I've ever seen out there because there is a little something for everybody in there. You've got Goblin, anybody who's into high fantasy, there is something in this line for you. You've got Roman gladiator-esque characters. You've got your standard dwarves, elves, humans. There's skeletons. There are undead.
Even your wizard folk there.
That's right. Poxus gave us a lot of wizards. Father Christmas himself is like so druidic in his look, especially the green one that was on the retail exclusive wave. Like, there are just so many options. And then to help for the people who are just more into sci-fi, you turn around and they're doing cosmic legions, which again, they're covering like every trope that you can think of within a sci-fi franchise.
Except humans.
And that's okay. It's in outer space. I totally don't see us traversing, across solar systems yet. So I'm okay if we're not showing up in space in that.
We'll just make it worse.
That's right. Absolutely. Look at what we've done here. So,
although your form and likeness has developed on other worlds. Take me for example, on Eternia there.
that's true. It's true. We do traverse quite a far, but it's one of those things where like there's a little something for everybody in here. And again, if you don't look back necessarily, you just keep looking at what's coming down the line, where they're at now and what's coming out. It's really not that scary to look at,
Yeah.
And yeah, you look at the Necronominus wave. Necronominus himself was, I'm trying to remember, was he a deluxe? I feel like he was a little bit more than the standard figure, but I think I don't remember the price on him. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Like that's not $100 figure. It easily could be,
right?
Because that is a head-to-toe skeleton with giant-ass skeleton wings, tons of custom soft goods with wires in them. Like, if this was a Hasbro toy, I guarantee you that'd be like $150.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be as good as this. I like Hasbro, mostly. That's a whole nother topic. We're not going to dive into that. Sorry. I'm not trying to crap or poop or tear down any other toy lines or insult any other toy lines. Like you were saying, Oz, there's just something about this world and just the way it's tapped into my imagination that nothing has since I was a kid.
Yeah.
That it's just pulled me so deep into it, and that I can. We'll get into customizing and stuff more in another episode down the road, but like just that whole avenue of it. And like Joe was saying, getting to make friends in the hobby is a great way to make friends. It's a great way to get figures, but it's a great way to make friends. Like I'm messaging Joe almost daily, I think at this point. Curtis, a little over a year ago, I didn't know who Curtis was. And now we're doing 2 shows every weekend together,
Same. Yeah.
I didn't know you guys probably more than 6 months ago at this point, but it's just really cool how this line has gotten that access, and you get, I'm a strong believer, you get what you put in. So if you just want to be on there looking for prices, you're only ever going to see prices. If you're in there and you're making friends and, actively participating in the cabal or the other groups about it, you're going to get what you put into it.
Yep.
And doing shows like this and talking with you guys is so much fun.
Yeah. I think that's a great segue.
Thanks.
So, yeah, I mean, it was great being back. Like I said, I missed recess. So that was like, I haven't seen you for like 2+ months. So it was awesome to kind of hang out a little bit. Missed Shawn tonight, but we'll see each other again soon.
We got to get you in on with Dom on one of the game nights sometime.
I totally do. I've been,
Oh my god,
getting to do it twice now. It's nowhere near as complex as D&D, but it's just so much fun.
It pulls all the best elements.
D&D days.
Yeah.
If I could use, and I definitely want to join in. I don't know if Dom's sort of like building that game up and trying to get it out there, right? And kind of like flesh it out a little bit more and get it ready for prime time. I love that. And I just in general love the idea of finding new ways to play with your toys, right? These things are just amazing looking, especially when it comes to Mythic Legions. I've said this before, like I feel like there's an interesting cross section of maybe people that weren't necessarily like action figure people, but they were maybe like into miniatures for games and they customize those and they're like, oh, these are bigger. I can see them better and paint on them a little bit better. But I just love the idea of, these things sort of being little avatars while you're playing a game. And there's going to be a lot of that coming for other lines. Oh, hey, look at that. Perfect. So anyway, it's been great. It's I think class has gone a little long. This is like an intense college class. This is what we call block schedule in the world of high school.
Is the first week of school after summer break where we had to everybody had to talk about their summer and get caught back up.
Totally.
We did. Like we did go and do like a spring break type thing, and then we came back with recess and coming into this month. It's taken us a little bit to fully kind of get back together here. Just as the school year is wrapping up, so like that means I guess next time we meet up, it's going to be finals. And then if you all fail finals, I guess we're going to have summer school.
Oh, Star, I want to address Star's question. Star, you watched Jeremy's show, so I'm going to say you were probably the one who's most on top of if Cosmic Legion is going to have an exclusive.
Yep.
I thought I saw someone say that Cosmic Legions was not going to be the exclusive for Legions Con, but I cannot remember where I saw that, or if I just had a dream about an ordinary day and that was in a dream, because those are the kind of dreams I have. They're either horrible nightmares or just mundane day things that I don't know.
Teach us, as they say.
Not my dreams.
Man,
and Star, the cool thing about Dom's game is he has a fantasy set and he has a sci-fi set. We've only played through the fantasy side at this point, but you can swap it out. So check out those the Toy Domination or the Legions class Recess from last month. I think it's something he's trying to make like an actual game that people will be able to take and play.
Yes.
So you can swap out the mythic stuff for cosmic stuff. Same rules. You just swap out all the fantasy stuff for sci-fi stuff, and you just use the toys that you have.
That's right.
He's
set it up to be adaptable too, so that as you want to bring in other types of toys, you can. And his mind is so incredible on how he has that game set up and how easy it is to start. You could have no gaming kind of experience at all, and it would be very easy to pick up and get into. And then if you are more experienced into a game, like Jesse said, you can realize how much more simplified the mechanics are than your average D&D game. If you're used to like advanced Dungeons and Dragons with a lot of additional rules, they're not in there. And even while we were playing on Thursday, he added elements as we were going where he goes, I don't have any room set up about any modifiers if this character's on the ground, like what kind of damage or what kind of handicap does he have. And so like we took a vote on it right then and there while we were playing, like between us and between the people who were viewing, if we wanted to incorporate that. And so he was very easily able to adapt it and be like, okay, well, I'm going to roll one less dice and put a handicap because this character's on the ground now. So that's amazing. And his ability to do that on the fly, to easily adapt it, it's going to be an incredible game. That's why I'm so willing to keep playing it and keep promoting it, because I want to see this become a thing like where we can all buy his rule books or get files to download the cards so we can make characters with all these amazing toys that we have and play with our friends.
Yep. It's essentially a more organized way of playing. You've got your setup, you've got your scenario, you've got your objective, and then you roll the dice and see if you succeed what you're trying to do. So it's taking me right back to when I was a kid, but instead of just like smashing stuff together, there's a little more to it, and it's a lot of fun. And we were using Mythic Legions. There was a Marvel Legend character in there with us.
Sunfire,
the enemy. We barely got away from the gargoyle, which was the one of the gargoyles figures. So you can use any of the figures you want. And one of the cool things I thought was, sorry, Rick, I think we were wrapping up, and now we got on this whole tangent here.
Yeah, we're good.
He like throws things out there. He's like, all right, as you kill this goblin, he screams something out because he recognizes you. What does he say? So like there's this stuff where you're building the story as you're playing. So you don't know. And he's like, all right, you see that, like, why does that guy? Why do you recognize that enemy? Or what does this smell like when you cut into them? And So yeah,
apparently burnt goblin smells like barbecue chicken. That is never going to.
Don't think that's accurate.
That's awesome.
Maybe barbecue chicken like 2 weeks after it was cooked.
That might be more accurate as far as what I imagine it to be.
Yeah.
But
I guess it depends who's doing the cooking. I mean, something's probably delicious to everything else, right?
Sure, I'm sure. Just not my standard. No. But I mean, it was really fun. And again, you're taking these amazing toys. And again, it doesn't have to be Mythic Legions toys. You can incorporate these, like Jesse's saying. We had Marvel Legends right in there with us while we were playing.
That's such a cool idea.
So we're definitely going to have some more recess coming up, I'm sure. I'll have to organize it with Dom, and we'll try to see. Those will be more than likely special classes for the week. So that takes a little bit more of preparing, as of course during the weekdays sometimes lives get a little bit busier and it's harder to get everybody together in one place for that. But when we do, it's going to be incredible.
It did it again. Sorry. Sweet tooth. Oh, sorry.
It works.
I see.
When you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
That's right. You mess with the
Red Bull gives you wings, as they say.
Unless the porch pirates strike. Anyhow.
So, guys, I guess we'll be figuring out what finals will lie ahead of us as we close up class for the season necessarily. But that doesn't mean we won't be getting together to talk Mythic Legions over the course of summer break. And then, we'll see where the more advanced classes take us next semester, because that's when it's going to get really fun. We've only been going over the basics for the past, how many months we've been doing this now? 4 or 5 months. So, yeah, that's just the basics, folks. We were just trying to get you familiar with everything. Now we're going to talk about the more advanced stuff as we get into it even deeper. So you've been introduced. So many of you that may not have been into this necessarily when it started have gotten into it now. And we're just going to dive even deeper. And I hope you all are along for the ride.
Yep.
So popping now.
If I could say one quick thing just to add on, if you are new to, because this show is specifically about Mythic Legions, there are tons of other awesome lines, but it's Legions class, so Mythic and Cosmic Legions, Figure Obscura, the Horseman stuff.
Say, Obscura.
There's a lot of really great stuff to come. I think we'll probably get into some Cosmic stuff more as they start getting to people this summer. I think we've been holding off getting into those, but if you are new to it or don't know a lot about it or have people that are getting into it, have them go back and watch the early episodes. While it's fun being in the live, that's why we did those early episodes talking about the price points. I think the whole first episode is largely talking about the price points and how you get them and everything. And comparing them to other lines and things and getting into the lore a little bit in the faction. So go back, watch those earlier episodes if you want, and share the links and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for Oz.
Indeed.
And all of us,
all of these amazing creators in here. It's not just about my show. You guys got to be catching Brick here, Jesse, and Eldor.
Voguing? What are we voguing? Is that what this is?
Oh, we are voguing. We are.
Hey, Macarena.
Wait. But guys, definitely, I will be adding everybody's links into the description of this video, as well as, of course, there is the Mythic or the Legions class. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Bud, the amazing mod that he is dropping those links now for everybody. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for taking that break. I know Zelda's calling, but appreciate you.
That's why, Bud told me he was going to be like that when Legend of Zelda hit, and I'm not mad about it at all because I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda myself. So definitely it was worth it. Bud's always hard at work making sure, trying to drop everybody's links each and every time we do this.
Was it David Williams?
I was
think it was
just
David
gonna.
Williams.
I was gonna try and bring it up.
Go ahead.
No, yeah.
David Williams
talking.
did an awesome link Mythic Legions custom this week on his Instagram. I think it's David Williams, or I'm David Williams on Instagram.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, duh. That's faster. But yeah, it's an old one that like has totally just stuck in my head, and he's resurfaced it because of
it was a research. Okay.
Yeah, because of the game coming out, and it's
that's
just
right.
one of my favorite customs ever. Where is it? Here we go.
I think he even had him on the horse.
Yeah.
In one of the pictures.
Oh man, that's even better. Need some homework? Well, go to the Source Horseman and study. That is the homework. You know what? As a matter of fact, as all of you, I know Payne sent me earlier that he got Aether this week as his pickup when we were going over some pickups. If you want some homework, get pictures of any Legions characters that you pick up between now and the next class. You can send them to myself. We'll set up someplace where you can send everything. I will update each one of the previous videos, and we will drop links in there so you guys can drop that in, and then we will be able to share those when we have the next class. So whatever you guys are picking up, if you want to show it off and share it with everybody, if you're regular here, go ahead and do it, and we'll share you. That's your homework for next time. If you don't pick anything up, well, hey, you know what? There you go. You skipped out on doing your homework. I'm not grading that crap. Okay.
Can you show that? There you go, real
I was
quick.
gonna say-
Since we're
Yeah,
talking
there it is.
That's
the world of
gorgeous.
Hyrule.
Oh,
So good. This is David
Is he
Williams'
selling
art we
these?
showed earlier. There's this, and
Did he mention if he would be selling these, or doing more of them?
so his paint is
I
so
don't know.
smooth.
I don't know.
I'll
yeah.
have to
is
reach
that
out.
his Zelda like custom made?
It says
His
Link.
Link.
Yeah.
Link custom.
Link. Oh, yes.
I mean, he pierced his ears, man.
Right? I mean, that's phenomenal. But Dawning of a Decade, who was in the chat earlier tonight doing her YouTube channel,
She's
wait.
here right now.
I was gonna say we mentioned Legend of Zelda, and here she is. This is one of her most favorite game franchises of all time, and although she herself is not a huge toy fan, if David Williams is doing commissions on this, I may have to ask. Because...
So this base figure looks to be a elf, perhaps an elf ranger. The bare arms are it's probably slightly pop and swap, but it's mostly a 2.0 elf ranger or elven character, maybe even an Asa for the arms. I'm not sure where he got the arms from. There's only a few figures that have the bare. It could be like a Cassia. There's actually more than a few that have the bare arms.
Mm-hmm.
But then the upper part's just painted blue to match the armor and everything. And the head is from one of the elves. I think that was. I'm not sure which one, but there are several elves that come with that head. But yeah,
phenomenal work though.
Yeah, love it.
Go back and show with the horse again, Brick or Epona.
Epona.
That is just amazing.
To be honest, you could use the Father Christmas as the base for that buck.
Yeah,
right.
Except for the head. All those parts are on the Father Christmas.
Which is funny because I've got that extra Father Christmas coming with the green already. Maybe a more traditional Link. The green.
There is an elf head with a hood. There is a hooded one. I know you were asking to make a soft hood. You could pull the hair off. You could cut it off. It's fairly soft. But hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's
Yeah.
advanced.
That's right. That's another class.
That's advanced. That's advanced. That's
It's a good tease. Good tease.
They're
Good
very
tease.
advanced. They're very advanced.
Yeah, that's AP class.
That's coming along.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, freaking fantastic. Can't believe we're actually like at 5 classes now going in on this, and how long we've been doing it. It took this long just to cover the basics. But I am really, really, really excited for what's to come, because as great as just buying these regular toys are, and how great the normal toy line is without anything at all, the next step is kind of your lazy boy custom, as it's known, or the pop and swap ability. I showed off a little bit of that. You know how easy it is to break down some of the more basic parts of the character that you can pop out and swap different things last weekend, as I was dismantling a gladiator legion builder and swapping some parts out with my barbarian legion builder, because I wanted that more custom look to it. So we'll be getting into a lot more of that coming up. And then we're going to go to that point where you're going to see more such as Link here, where it's beyond just pop and swap. Now you're getting into the real nitty gritty of what so many in the community are about. And we are going to be promoting links of where you can buy things for all of these. I mean, we have so far, but there's so many more out there, guys. It's fantastic. If you guys are on Facebook and you've started collecting Legions figures, mythic, cosmic, or other, definitely when it comes to the mythic, though, join the Cabal. There are so many fantastic people in there. It is such a great community. And again, networking, connecting with these others in the community. If you are interested in some of these older figures, that's generally where you're going to find a decent price on it. Outside of trying to shop on eBay and everything else, you can find a lot of good prices with other people who are selling right there within the group. So please check it out.
Yep.
I will say one minor piece of advice: joining the ball or one of the other groups. Come in, join it, become a part of the community. This is just me speaking personally. It's always a little bit of a turnoff when someone comes in like, hey, I'm new here. I'm selling all these mythic legions, or hey, I'm new here. Can I get this at X price? Like just coming in instantly with a buy or a sell thing is a bit of a faux pas.
I was just gonna say faux pas.
A little bit of a faux pas.
A fox pas.
Yeah. I mean, it's not anything like necessarily against the rules, but like, I mean, that's kind of like just bursting into someone else's yard sale and trying to sell something or buy something.
Yeah. Well, let's date first.
When I first
get to know people.
Yeah. It happens more than you want.
There, I introduce what I do and things.
But yeah, it's a great place.
Networking connect.
Yeah.
Is the main thing.
Yeah.
I mean, without things like the Cabal, you wouldn't have the Mythic meetup that just happened up by Brick. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of these core things that really helps with that, is getting to know other people within this community. And Walter's done an incredible job getting that started building.
Yeah. And the Cabal is only a fraction of people who are into Mythic Legion.
Yes.
Not everybody does Facebook. Not everybody knows it's there. So yeah, I mean, pushing 4,500 people in the Cabal, I think.
Yep.
And
the community is huge all across Instagram.
And it's international. There are tons of people all over the world. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject. Sorry.
Yeah. You know, it's okay to talk about that here. This is a safe space where we can just keep on going and going. And I'm sure there's people out there who will watch and probably call us shills for what we do here necessarily. Yeah. Look, a shill
I know
is
about shill, but
somebody
I'm really
who's
well and chilly here. Cold out in the back.
You know, that term gets thrown around a lot in the toy community these days. It's your shill, your shill. A shill is technically somebody who is given some sort of incentive to promote. We're not giving it an incentive. We just want to share this with everybody because it's so freaking awesome. The incentive for us is we get to come up here and talk about this, and there are people listening. And, we're not sitting with people that don't care to hear about it because we're talking about it one way or the other. Rather with you guys than annoy the crap out of other people who aren't into it. So, everybody, thank you for being here tonight. Why don't we go once around and find out where everybody can see you next, Brick?
Tomorrow, I'm pretending I'm Oz. So I streamed last night with Kayla. We're doing this Legions class. So last night, was all about Lego, one of my favorite things in the world. Tonight was all about Mythic Legions, one of my favorite things in the world. And at 2:00 tomorrow on Highly Articulated channel, it's going to be about AWOC Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, one of my new favorite things in the world. God, these things pose so beautifully. We have started a series called AWOC Talk, and so we structure with sort of pre-recorded videos. I'm starting to put together these little shorts of the animated little comic things, and we do live streams. And tomorrow will be our first live stream. We're calling it Monkey Business, and we were talking about games earlier with Dom. If you're thinking, wow, that sounds like such a cool idea. What if we had games that we could use our toy line? Well, AWOC's doing it. It's coming out real soon. It's available for pre-order now. And Authority Figure, who makes the game, are going to be joining us tomorrow live, 2:00 on Highly Articulated's channel.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be Jeremy, who was here earlier, chastising me about mistreating my AWOCs, and Zach, and we're going to look at the game. So that's tomorrow at 2:00. And then tomorrow evening, I may or may not be joining Oz, and I'll let him handle that. And just going to hopefully start unboxing some of these things. But come check it out. Brick something.
All right. Jesse, fire it away, sir.
So you can catch me on the Just Shelve It YouTube channel. Every Sunday night, my co-host and I have our convo show with someone from the toy community. This week we have the talented Mr. C, who, if you follow Instagram and any of this sort of stuff, he did that awesome multi-story tavern diorama out of foam.
Yep.
So we're going to be talking to him about dios and stuff tomorrow and other collecting things. So that's every Sunday night, Shooting the Shelf at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Curtis, Shawn, the Dooch, and I get together every other Friday night for Off-World. And then the other Friday nights, we have our off week where we just kind of get together and hang out, talk about whatever. So Friday nights on the Let's Go Off-World YouTube channel.
Woohoo!
Eldor, you are up next, my brother.
Well, I suppose apart from bringing all the full effect there of the storm, stormy weather, and the lightning and what have you, and no doubt you've been hearing the rain hitting. Oh, there's a little bit of lightning there just now. Yes, aside from all that, you can find me on the IG there, or the IG, or Instagram, as they also call it, as a Masterversal Toy Hunter there, and also on the YouTube land where we are here now, under the same name. And of course, Oz there has all the links and what have you set up in the description there. But yes.
Absolutely.
I don't really have any. Oh no, you're fine with us, sir. I don't really have anything.
You don't have anything else coming up? I know you're always.
I don't really have anything planned per se, but I'm hoping to get a few reviews out on the YouTube because just like a brick there, all the action figures are mounting up in a big pile of mountain there. And, just got to work through all that.
I get it. They certainly do start piling up pretty quickly if you don't unbox regularly, which is pretty much what I typically do every Saturday night on this channel. I'm normally doing some kind of unboxing from what I've hunted throughout the week, often joined by other great content creators, a lot of which you saw here tonight. Eldor himself has joined me on several occasions. Brick is always popping up. Jesse is always welcome to join as well if he ever has anything going on that he wants to share on just any normal Saturday night. However, I have been doing it was supposed to just be like a going through the weekend kind of thing, but it's turned well more into that. The totally awesome weekend this weekend, where it was going to just start on Thursday gaming with Dom, and then last night doing some toy therapy on Payne's Toy Samples, who was here earlier tonight, which you can also catch Brick on next Friday, by the way. Just plug that as well.
Thank you.
And then it rolled into me going live with Mega J last night, which is funny because going to be going live with him again tomorrow, and Brick should be joining us as long as he is still available.
Yep.
So that's going to be huge. You can definitely catch us both tomorrow night. That should be 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to double check with Jay and see what that time is so I can make sure I get it to you, Brick. But yes, absolutely. So catch me again tomorrow if you're not sick of watching me all over YouTube this past week. And then next week, starting off the usual time, Toy Frenzy on Thursday night. You can catch me over on Skelevator's channel. Talking about customs, that man has been building the most insane custom Snake Mountain diorama.
Awesome.
Man.
Awesome.
The first one he built was fantastic, and it's certainly no slouch even compared to what the new one he's doing. But again, watching this whole process as it's been unfolding and seeing the kind of work he puts into that, just fantastic and incredible. Not to take anything away from Mr. C, because that freaking tavern has had me drooling for months every time I see an update on it.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, that about sums it up for the evening. Thank you all for being here. It's been great.